going to try a little something. I've tried doing this before and I only get it right like half the time, so we'll see if I get it right this time. See, I'm fucking that up because this is going, I didn't think about that. Okay, hold on, let's try again, and my phone's going off. All right, one more time, apologies. Oh, that'll work. You say you're native, staying active, playing community. Gonna be a big man someday. Remember W, not your place. Throwing rain in our face. Natives don't need any more of your disgrace. Singing, we don't rock with you. We don't rock with you. Yeah, I tried. You know, you can see the direction where it's going. I'm a little too all over the place and distracted. But you know what? This is a little shout out here to Andrew Moreno. This one right there. Andrew Moreno and Friends. You know what I'm saying? That song is for you, Mono, and your friends, Andrew Moreno. There we go. Okay? Now, I'm going to roll my intro, and then we're going to get right on into it.
Hi, my name is Alexis, also known as Lexie or Deaf Child. I was born deaf, hard of hearing. I began doing business as Deaf Child 2013, marketing 2011, sales 2009. I've earned 50 plus certifications in marketing and sales. My Bachelor of Science from Loyola University, New Orleans, with a music industry studies major and a business administration minor. Deafness runs in my family genetically. Speech is not fully accessible to me. Anyway, I'm here to bitch about whatever the fuck is on my mind. So here we go. Visit my site at NolaDeafChild.com.
So first things first, we're going to recap our previous coverage here. Now, previously, whenever we covered everything, I think this might automatically start playing, but the first time Mono has been mentioned on my channel was in this Tawana Thornton video here. If you go down to the transcript and then we look for, it's loading, okay, and then we look for Mono here, we can start seeing in the transcript where he starts getting mentioned. And at first it was because Tawana was tagging all of us together. And then in here is where Tawana accuses Mono of being a pedophile and discusses an underage person dating Mono. Well, no, the other person was underage. This one's 19. Discusses a teenager. She said the word underage, which is why I repeated it right here when I was reading it in the transcript. But the person she's referring to is 19. I still think it's problematic, but it's not technically underage. So yeah, so she discusses that here, and yeah, and then I kind of discussed another altercation between Andrew Moreno and a different creator in here as well, and things of that nature, and all of that. So yeah. And at this point, I had discussed, you know, would it be doxing for people to be saying his name because she was accusing them of doxing her, but by saying her real name, but and me, I think, but whatever. I was just proving she wasn't native because she said she was native, and I could prove that the reason she said she was native through her mother was wrong. So I just proved that is all. But fucking yeah, and then she's claiming that Andrew was outed by the Mono tribe as pretending, apparently, is what Tawana was saying. And we all know Tawana's record, so we can take some of what she says with a grain of salt, and some of it may be true, we don't know, but, you know. So, yeah, so that's the first time he was mentioned on here, and in this live stream, I was basically saying that at this point, I was unaware of those details, so I couldn't really expand on that, basically. And that was the first time he was mentioned. Now,
As Deaf Child.
oopsie, that starts playing. Then the first time I ever covered this situation, was in my Andrew Moreno, aka Mono, doubles down on talking to teenagers, and Don Chuy points 30 fingers video. In this video, I went over my lineage, proof of lineage, my genealogy, etc., things of that nature, so you can see that here. And so, yeah, I showed, that my lineage has been verified through our office. I showed that proof in here. And so it's been verified by our tribal historian emeritus. I've also shown what does my dad look like. I've also shown my genealogy as documented for my dad's name aspect of the lineage, how my Carney line connects to our indigenous ancestry. I discussed all of that. Now, I also showed how I just told Mono that he should not be talking to teenagers. I showed that here. And things of that nature. And y'all can read the whole thing in the previous live stream. I'm not going to go over it again. But yeah. So I already told him that I didn't think it was okay to talk to teenagers. And that was before the video, the Toxic TikTok Unveiled video came out. And in this video, they ask a question here. He asked a question, how did he get away with it this long for the allegations? And I don't know if Toxic TikTok Unveiled is the same as Toxic TikTok Trends or not, because they could be different. I don't know who the fuck that is, but I will say I think they're the same because the editing style is the same. The TikTok Unveiled is linked currently on the TikTok Trends homepage, and they use the same AI shit, so I think it might be the same person. But they ask, how did he get away with it this long? And let me tell you why I think it's because certain people are helping him cover these issues up, and that's what enables him to keep doing the problematic behavior he does. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So that video came out, and we did we watched this video and did a reaction in this live stream. I also showed the Don messages that I left, the conversation that I had with Don Chuy. What were my messages to him? Let's see. But I had pulled that up on my phone and shit. Where is it? I could have sworn I did that in here. Okay, I pulled it up on my phone, and I showed, oh god damn it, I'm not even showing right here, and I showed it on my phone. And you can watch the live stream. I'm pretty sure I was able to get it more clear at one point in this live stream. So you can read all of that and hear my reading there. And then I also showed proof of how people have already been discussing that they believe that they believe that Cyber Cheese is in high school, and that they were showing that she was a teenager, and things of that nature. Let's see. So in here, I thought I had timestamped this correctly. But right here, someone said, does he have another young person? And then in a minute, the answer comes, and it says, yeah, he's seeing Cyber Cheese now. And that's a teenager. So, yeah, people are already aware that they were talking back then. And then I also showed the post that I had made so far on this situation, which I made another. I forgot to bring it up. Whatever, I'll try to do that at the end. And so I showed the post that I had made on this situation, as well as the conversations that I had with Mono regarding, you know, like right here, he had said he was going to lay down his life for Indigenous women. I said, good, then you can stop talking to teenagers. And he removed me from his group and said I was attacking him. And he's been claiming that I've been attacking him ever since for discussing my issues with this concept, along with other issues that I have with the situation at hand. And so, yeah, I shared that information. The post that all of the posts that I've made so far was shared here, as well as I read some other text messages as well, if I'm not mistaken. Now, I also discussed my reasons for blocking Mono as well. And I showed proof that he had previously told me he was 35 2 years ago, and that I believe he removed me from his group because I'm against him talking to teenagers. So, yeah. And then after that, we did a reaction to some of Mono's live streams. And in these live streams, Mono was allowing women twice Cyber Cheese's age, and Cyber Cheese is the only black person on the panel. And Mono, Andrew Moreno, was allowing people to call her moldy cheese, dollar store cheese, and rotten caramel. Meanwhile, Andrew Moreno was calling her his caramel queen and denying that he was in a relationship with her at the same time, in my opinion. So, yeah, we had talked about that. And then, let's see. Mono claimed that Teen One, I showed the timestamps here, should then tell you the proof for what Mono was saying. But, yeah, if you want to get into it, let's see here. Oh, I forgot to say, he keeps bringing up the MMIW movement, talking about how he's all for MMIW. He would do anything for Native women and things of that nature, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, we went over all of that, how he keeps saying problematic things, then hiding behind MMIW. He also claims that the Teenager One statement was rehearsed and coached. And then he was doxing the teenager's name, and he was also calling her conniving and things of that nature. I believe that's a form of antagonizing, in my opinion. And then he was saying that she just wanted to play with the big dogs as well, and that proof is in this live stream. He also was saying that basically everybody talking about this situation is lying and fabricating and conniving, etc. And let's see. He also said that we just hate him and are jealous. And yeah, he also, let's see here. Goth Abuela was saying that if you take a side, you're full of shit. In my opinion, if I understood that correctly, was basically what she was saying. And I have all of that time stamped out for you guys. Let's see. Mono said that he stands with his sisters. And I think he also said that the first teenager didn't want her family to know in here. And then let's see. I marked where they called Cyber Cheese Teenager 2 moldy cheese, dollar store cheese, and they were calling her Mono's wifey. They also, in my opinion, were mocking Powhatan Algonquian language. They were mocking Kikitawomac, making fun of the word Wingapo, in my opinion, if I understood what was happening here correctly. And Mono was calling her his caramel and caramel queen, and things of that nature. So, yeah, that would have been the first live stream that I did on this situation. In the second live stream here, this was a direct response to Goth Abuela. So, La Goth Abuela, in here we did a recap of the first live. I did a recap of the TikTok unveiled post of Don Chuy, and then I started responding to La Goth Abuela. And her full comment that I was responding to, basically, let's see, can y'all see this? I just want to make sure, see if y'all could try to show you the full comment if y'all can see it. But basically, she had said, "Dear dead child, do you have a receipt for the conversation where he says they are moving in together? I do believe you pontificate here. We all know Mono's confidant and longtime friend. It's not you. Stick to the facts, don't add sauce, because you feel slighted or triggered. I made it very clear to you we are all triggered, but we ain't gonna lie for no one. Echo Park Lady 3170, also known as La Goth Abuela." Okay, so I discussed in this live stream a response to her comment. I showed proof that I was friends with Mono November 2023. I also showed proof where Mono told me it did good for my spirit, especially to have you there. It meant the world to me because you've been there all day for me. You're the real MVP. I also showed where Mono said, "You're a friend, sister for life. Mono Nation appreciate you. You're forever invited to Mono Land and our soon to open casino and resort." Right here, where I showed that proof. Okay? Alright? And then I showed right here proof I blocked Mono May 2024. Yippee. Okay? I also showed proof that Mono was claiming that I'm a pretendian. And that was negating the tribal community and who their descendants is, right? I also showed proof that Mono admitted to discussing living together with Team 1. I also showed proof that Abuela was aware of Mono saying this and is still gaslighting me, in my opinion, to help him cover his tracks, in my opinion. I also showed proof that Mono was aware he was talking to two teams. I also showed proof that Mono has previously confided in me. And I showed that not only in some of the messages, but I also pulled up on my phone and show you a glimpse of some other things he had confided in me about from whenever he was a little boy. Okay? All of that is in here. Now, so then I asked, who is lying, Abuela? Is it you, Mono, or both? And I did a recap of the stream so far. I also showed a voice recording from Mono's Snapchat group where he admits to considering a relationship with Team 1. Let's play that. Oh, and here we go. Now to the last part. Let's get into the voice recording, and I'll let you guys come to your own conclusions on this. Alrighty? Okay, let's see here. I'm going to put this up on 1.75 speed. Apologies.
Look, if she is 18 now, which she told everybody that she was already 18 then, I have those receipts. She told everyone that. Why am I responsible for that? They did her genealogy. Elsie, you know what I mean? And that's all it was. It was just her in the group.
So all I'm saying, now, I've said over and over, I do not think that Mono is a pedophile. I only see why people call him that. I think he's a predator, and he is a different labels for what he actually is, right? And so he's harping on whether or not she's 16 or 18 for that legal reason, but I don't give a fuck about that, because whether she's 16 or 18, to me, he should not be engaging in that way with her, okay?
Like, there was no romance, there was no nothing.
So, notice, though, he does go back and forth on this, because previously, you know, right now he's saying there was no romance, there was no nothing. Where is it? But right here he said, because Tiana and I was talking at one point, right? Okay, hold on.
There was no nothing at all. It was only up to, I want to say October, we talked for a little bit, and then that didn't go nowhere.
So first he said nothing happened. Now he's saying again, up until October we talked for a bit, but it didn't go anywhere. Isn't that confusing?
Because I told her, look, I don't see it going anywhere, you know what I mean? And I think this is why she's doing this, because I didn't want to be with her, bro. That's the honest to God truth. I didn't want to be with her.
He said this exact same thing, word for word, in the Nahimaya situation, in my opinion. I accidentally skipped forward. God damn it. Or no, I think I skipped back. Okay, I'm gonna try right here.
The God truth, I didn't want to be with her. You can ask Cyber Cheese. I talked to Cyber Cheese about it. I showed her all the missed calls. She once called me like 10.
So notice right now, Mono is validating Cyber Cheese as a valid source, okay? I just want to put that out there. Right now, Mono is validating Cyber Cheese as a valid source, okay?
15 straight times. Like, I didn't want to talk to her. And then I told her, look, I don't see you like that. Like, yeah, we talked a little bit.
So now he's admitting again, yeah, we did talk a little bit. So even if he really did change his mind about not seeing her, the fact that he even was okay with talking to her for a little bit bothers me.
You know, we kind of flirted with the thought of being together.
He's just now saying they flirted with the thought of being together. A man in his 30s to 40s should not be flirting with the thought of being with an 18-year-old, in my opinion.
But I was like, it's just not going to work. You're over there in Texas. You said you're going to college over there. You said you don't want to transfer to Fresno State University after all. So there's really nothing there. Because I don't want to leave California. I'm from here.
And then the reasons he gives is because, oh, it just wouldn't work out for the location?
I don't want to live here. I don't want to leave here. And I wasn't going to go out there for no booty call because I'm not about that either. So that's the truth. I think they got her riled up. If anything, they're the ones that are grooming her. She's still over there, like the police officer told me today. He said, if you were the one grooming her, she would still be with you right now.
I don't believe. Okay, so y'all get the point, and it goes from there. So yeah, fucking that was that live stream. And then here there's some telling comments, I believe, from Mumi Starr. She had said that the comment that Cyber Cheese thought it was her he was chasing is proof enough that they've been talking. I'm not underage, I'm not with you. Clearly she's confused about her status with him, and he's covering his lie. And I said, right, that's what I think, because why would she think it's her otherwise? He likes to claim all the women want him, and they're mad he rejects him. But what are the chances he leads them on instead? And then she also said, goodness, they act that like they are powerful enough to claim people aren't indigenous enough. Anyone in a tribe don't go by blood. And he was already verified by your own tribe that they aren't a part of, so what they're doing is erasure. How are the indigenous would colonize their minds? And I said that part. And relevant, but not related to this, people love to call me half-breed, but I descend from Europeans, Native Americans, and African Americans. And then she also said, I doubt Mono ever talked to the police. He's just talking. No police is going to say what he said about grooming. You can groom teens to do things they don't want to do, like move into your state, and the victim can deny moving there when that happens in this situation. His excuse is location because he doesn't want to move. So why is he engaging in her? For her to move to isolate from any connection, stalking behavior. And I said, yes, I think engaging with teenagers this way at all when you're over 35 is problematic. And notice how he kept going back and forth on if he was talking to her or not. Not consistent. Alrighty, and then the last live stream that I did on this was about Mono's words to me, to Isla and I think to me as well, about my sexual assault. Now, the first part of this live stream, I'm not going to necessarily recap completely because the first part of this was basically me reading sources and my own work on my thought process behind the concepts discussed in the rest of this live stream, as well as trying to educate people about some of the issues discussed here as well, for those who do want to learn more on some of the ideology behind that. Then we get into the conversation into what Mono said to Isla. Let's see. I don't know if you guys can see it here, but it is, you can definitely see it in the actual live stream that I did on this situation. So, basically, Mono had said, I'm not going to say them things, but I know her. She is playing victim. When she came onto this app, she did not claim to be Native, and I have that proof. Also, and I don't know what the fuck he's talking about, because, like, to me, I've never denied my indigenous ancestry. I've just also claimed that I'm a white person because I fucking am. Look at me. That's not denying my Native ancestry. It's just a fact. That doesn't mean I'm not Native. So I think that's what he's holding over me, the fact that I've ever identified as white. Anyway, said also she posted herself nude on Instagram, so how she can claim sexual assault victim when she was nude at 19 on Instagram. I'm speaking on Lexie, by the way. I also have that proof of her being nude on Instagram. So yeah, she's a pretending white woman, and it shows how she's a full of Karen drug addict. All quotes from Andrew. I was not 19 nude on Instagram. First of all, they're implied nudes. You don't actually see everything. Second of all, I was older. I was 26 and older, 27 older, and the ones that are actually nude, like the implied nude, you know, those ones that he's referring to, I was my mid to late 20s. And my early 20s, I was 22 years old, and the rest of those lingerie pictures where I did a boudoir photo shoot my senior year of college. And so, yeah, I showed proof in this live stream and in the comments of what my age was in those situations, and in like all of that, what the case was. And the screenshots, the proof of everything is time stamped to each of these statements so you can see. And I also show proof for my facts on these issues. And so, yeah. And so notice here, he is negating my sexual assault because of me expressing my sexuality and calling me a pretendian when I've already shown proof of my indigenous lineage being confirmed. Okay. And I've shown proof of who my father is. So yeah, I also showed a screenshot of a text that I got from my dad up in here in this aspect, like in the camera. And in here, I tried to get it so you could see it a little bit better in the actual live stream. And so, yeah, I showed where my dad had basically told me, you know, that we have a lot to do. We'll do it with our true family, the tribe, and God. Never forget God. Fuck the church. Pray to God. The spirit of our ancestors is real. This is my father's energy right there. And I showed more pictures of my dad and I again, and I discussed his indigenous identity in my life. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. And then let's see. I also addressed how Andrew called me 19 when I was 26. And then in this conversation, I was so triggered about my sexual assault. I accidentally referred to the Blue Nile as Maple Leaf Bar, but it was the Blue Nile that I was meaning to mention. But because of my sexual assault situation, which happened at Maple Leaf Bar, my mind was in one place while I was speaking on the other. So there's that as well. So, yeah. And I kept addressing the rest of his statements. And then someone was saying that someone doesn't like me for the very reason that I'm a pretendian. Only my people from my tribe can discuss whether or not I'm a pretendian, and only they can invalidate or validate my lineage. However, the tribal historian emeritus, as well as staff from the enrollment office of 2 different tribes that I descend from, have confirmed my lineage. So, it's up to them to decide what their fucking history is. And I don't give a fuck what anyone else says. You are invalidating Powhatan fucking tribes if you want to invalidate my lineage. Now, let's see here. Andrew was also saying 19 is legal age to date whoever the fuck they want. At what age did Taino woman get married before Columbus? I will wait. 19 is a legal adult. He was saying these things to a woman who is Taino or Arawak descent. And I just now learned about how the Arawak community shit. I don't even know. I just said I just learned, but I haven't processed it yet. I was just recently told about the fact that the Taino community actually identifies as Arawak, and Taino was a label put on them. And so many Arawaks will identify as Taino for their human rights issues and things of that nature. But I just learned that basically Arawak is the correct term if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. It's not my community. I'm still learning. Apologies, y'all. Much love. I appreciate you. But anyway, so yeah, I discussed all of that here. And then Andrew was basically telling our Arawak woman that she didn't know about her own history, because when she was correcting him, he was like, how do you know? Did you time travel? Basically invalidating the knowledge that was passed on to her from not only her ancestors, but the rest of her community. That he's not a part of, mind you. And we also went over where he said that by whose standards, the white man, in reference to, is it ethically wrong for a middle-aged man to have a relationship with a teenager? And then he was saying, uncontacted indigenous people don't share that view. I'm just saying, where I'm from, we ain't even promised 21. And then he was saying nobody, and then, so yeah, he was basically saying all of that to Isla. And then, whenever she was calling him out on the problematic nature of these statements, you know what I'm saying? He started gaslighting her, basically saying nobody said anything about touching, that's your colonizer mind. And in both situations he was discussing either invalidating my rape, or he was discussing could he have a relationship with a teenager. And you don't have a romantic relationship. To deny the sexuality aspect of a romantic relationship with a teenager and be like, oh, I wasn't talking about that, then you would just be friends. You wouldn't be arguing about having a relationship with a teenager. It's contradicting in and of itself. And where it comes to invalidating my rape, yeah, that's fucking you being sexual, dumbass. So yeah, he was basically trying to gaslight Isla on what the fuck he just said. And she was like, I have the screenshots. The fuck are you talking about? And then he was saying that I put myself nude for the public. Why? Unless I want that kind of attention. He was victim blaming me for my own rape in this situation. He was not only denying that I was ever raped, because I have shared my body publicly, like pictures of myself. I don't give a fuck, right? He was denying that I was ever raped for that, while also saying that I wanted that attention because of how I am. Meanwhile, he was saying that I was 19 in those pictures. I wasn't 19. He just thought I was for some fucking reason. And what else I don't get, and I shared the links in my comments here, you can verify that I've been publishing my correct age. My correct age is on my TikTok, on my Instagram, on my YouTube, you know what I'm saying, on my Facebook. Like, I've never denied what my age is. I've always discussed what my age is and very public about that. So right here, I wrote a little poem on one of my birthdays. It says, 28 and feeling great, got my OPG beignet. Dough birch cake I also ate and wore all velvet for my date. And this is December 30th, 2021. So you can see here, like in 2021, I was 28. The picture he is saying that I was 19 in was from 2020. So yeah, he's at the, so I can prove my age at these times as well. And I also showed, so whenever I was first trying to get sober, I made a post, September 11th, 2019. So here's my wear a helmet for the time being. God damn it. I hate that Facebook does that. So here's my wear a helmet when you bike post. Also, please help me as I'm trying to stay sober for the time being. And this, was September 11th, 2019. I've been sober since September 9th, 2019. And sometimes I accidentally say September 19th, 2019, but the correct date is September 9th. I was sober 2 days before this post. And this was like my third day being trying to be sober, while I was in fucking pain. And so I shared here in 2023, I've been sober since September 9th, 2019. I drink lots of smoothies and coffees. For anyone who needs it, I thought I'd share this. My smoothie recipe. A glass of ice, a handful of berries, 4 strawberries, 5 raspberries, half a banana, a tablespoon of lime juice, a tablespoon of apple juice, and a 1/3 cup of orange juice and blend. And I showed my smoothie recipe here. Oh, I'm not showing my screen. It's really good. Highly recommend. And this is from one of my older houses. So yeah. I've been sober. I can prove that. I can prove these dates and things of that nature. So, and another thing, even if like I wasn't sober, the fact that you're making light of addiction, which is a disease that is rampant in Native American community, is extremely disturbing to me. And I've never done any other like hard drugs, you know, like I've done mushrooms. Shit, what the fuck did I just do? Oh, okay. I've done mushrooms. I've done acid. I've smoked weed. The most problematic drug I've ever done, I think, would probably be acid and Molly. I've done Molly. And you know, sometimes that shit is laced with other shit. So maybe there's something that I didn't know I took, right? But I believed I was taking Molly. I felt like it. You know, those are the things that I've done before. I've only been smoking weed since 2019. That's it. Just marijuana. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, and so for the rest, I showed the rest of this conversation as well, where he continues gaslighting, in my opinion. He was continuing to gaslight Isla. The rest of this conversation is in this live stream, and you can go read it for yourself. I believe on the original live stream, you can better see what was said. And he was saying, victims I know don't post themselves nude. She's using SA as an excuse to attack Indigenous men. Continuing victim blaming. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Where the fuck was I me calling you out for trying to have relationships with teenagers when you are an older man is not me using my SA to attack Indigenous men. It's me calling you out for your problematic behavior, in my opinion. Okay? And so he's the one that brought that up. Not me, in this relation here where I'm like discussing this is problematic. Alright. But the commonalities, though, within the community upholding and the fallout and all of that are the same, in my opinion, in terms of upholding rape culture and violence against women. So this is the man who keeps pushing MMIW, while saying this shit, which are the causes of MMIW. He is using rhetoric and vernacular that perpetuates and continues the MMIW crisis by causing violence to Native women, while trying to use the MMIW movement to act like everybody speaking out on him is attacking him somehow, in my opinion. Now, he also said, where's the video on her perpetrator? And anyone who's a mutual of mine on Facebook, you know all the posts I did on that. You know my blog post I did on that. Anybody that's a mutual of mine on Facebook can go look in my Facebook post and see all of the posts I did on that. And in the video that I'm working on, which I've filmed and I've worked on the first part of the content, the material that I've put together to tell you guys what happened there, you know. I've put together and filmed and recorded the first part. I have prepared the second part of what I need to record, and that will get recorded as soon as possible. But right now I'm in the middle of moving, and that is my priority. So yeah, but that is a video on the situation is in progress, actually. The only reason it's not already done, you know, was because when it happened, I wasn't making videos like this. And so it's just, if I was already making videos at that time, then it probably would have gotten covered in a video at that time. At that time, I was writing everything out a lot. Lately, with my carpal tunnel, I have switched from writing to video production because it's a bit easier on my wrist to be able to speak instead of typing everything out. And so, yeah, I have transitioned to expressing myself in video production lately. And so I am working on a video on that. That's just why it wasn't already done, because that's just wasn't how I was expressing myself then. I was using written word then. You know, so yeah. And then he was also saying, look, white people look out for white people. He was calling a woman who presents phenotypically as indigenous and is indigenous white, and it's extremely fucking problematic. And yeah, she does have admixture, so it's not like she doesn't have white ancestry in her heritage. However, she's not like me in terms of I have more than half white ancestry and I present as white. So, you know what I'm saying? it's one thing to call me white because, yeah, that's how I am in society. They see me as white. But this is a person who is phenotypically darker skinned than me, phenotypically presents as indigenous. It's phenotypically, like, it's just fucking racism, in my opinion, to call her a white woman. And that's what he was doing. And again, all of the screenshots for everything that he was saying is linked in this original video. All the timestamps there show all of these statements said. Now, he also said to a woman, an indigenous Arawak woman who does not present as white, saying, again, words on my mouth like a colonizer. I said married. When she was telling him that if you're trying to marry a teenager or have a relationship with a teenager, that is sexual. And he was saying, that's words out of my mouth like a colonizer. What? Are you fucking kidding me? And then he was saying, I'm gonna block you. You're 70% right. Is that an all-time peak? You are disgusting, is what he was trying to say to her. It's extremely triggering, extremely gaslighting, extremely problematic, in my opinion. Now, I also showed proof that people in Andrew's group were aware that she was 19. I also showed proof that Cybercheese told us Andrew claimed to be 27. But she denied to him that she said this. I also showed proof that Cybercheese, oh, I put Chase right here, this should be Cheese, that Cybercheese admits she told Andrew she never told us they were in a relationship and that it was private. I also showed proof that Cybercheese had told us that Andrew claimed to be 27. And mind you, I want you to pay attention to Cybercheese's profile here, because this is going to be relevant in a minute. Now, I put a recap of the life so far in there. And then I also showed a voice recording in this live stream where Andrew Moreno claimed that Mono is his brand. So we are going to replay this. I'm going to put it on 1.75 speed, put that volume up, and we are going to now watch that. I think I learned how to add captions. I'll see if this works.
See, they're paying attention to any support that I get, any support. They're jealous of the support because they know they're wrong. They know that they're lying. They know, you know what I mean? And I've proven myself time and time again how they're doing me, how fucked up they are. You know what I mean? Flo seen it from the beginning. Abuela seen it from the beginning. You know what I mean? But they're not gonna win. They're not winning. See, what they didn't account for is that Mono is a brand. I know it's my tribe, but I made it a brand on TikTok. You know what I mean? And they can't get around that. You know what I mean? Mono is a brand, literally.
So that's it right there. He's talking about how Mono is his brand, literally. That he made it a brand. That's what Mono just claimed. Or Andrew Moreno claimed that he made the brand of the Mono tribe. In my opinion, if I understood that correctly. Y'all hear what I just heard? So, Mumi Starr said she's supposed to be making more pastelas. Oh, I want some. Oh, god damn it. Okay, so I think that is it there. And we got one more thing to recap. Let's see. He had also, from there I discussed, could Mono own the brand and things of that nature. We went into that conversation. And then I also showed where in the text message that Mono was saying, you know, that he changed the spelling of his name, Andii, to appear more indigenous looking. I also showed that proof there as well. Okay. And then last but not least here's one of my more recent posts on this situation. Now, so for this post I made, what I was discussing, when I called out Abuela for dismissing my indigeneity, she said I never said that. I had the recording and proof she denied saying what she said. When I told Abuela how much what Mono said about my sexual assault harmed me, she said, I knew you would flip out. As she continues to support Mono, and so does Fleurette, also known as, I cannot pronounce this, I think it's Atvsiligi, I'm so sorry, Atsiligivi is her current handle. Because of how Abuela supports Mono dismissing my sexual assault and acting like I'm not native enough since I have white and African American ancestry too, and Fleurette stands besides this, I do not feel safe around them. I am disappointed in Fleurette. I invited her into an Eastern Woodlands group because I believed if we could get her lineage confirmed, maybe she could connect to the culture. I tried to help her get verification and community access. I am disappointed in these women. Because of how Abuela has just treated me, I didn't have energy to tell off Fleurette too. I had to go when she came in. I will never be in the same space as them. That is what I posted. And I just remembered I forgot to pull up one thing, but you know what? I'll pull this up in just a second. So here, we're gonna see a screenshot here now. So, in this live stream, this was Kiki's live. Ladybug was there. I was there, and so was Isla. And so they can confirm. And Isla was particularly, in my opinion, disturbed by Abuela's response given the situation. So, where Abuela says, I never said that right here. Can y'all see that? Abuela was saying, I never said that. Where Abuela said, I never said that, I was telling Abuela that it really upset me that she was invalidating my indigeneity as if I was a pretendian. You know, I was telling her that. Like, why the fuck would you imply or call me a pretendian? And she said, I never said that. But I have the clip. All right? So, for something that I have a recording of her saying, she's denying she said. What the fuck? And then, when I was telling her, and these ladies were there, they can confirm what I was saying, and I was speaking very angrily because the situation is so triggering. I was telling Abuela how fucking upset at her, how disappointed I am in her, how mad I am at her for supporting Mono, for saying what he said about my sexual assault. I was telling her that him invalidating my sexual assault because of what I look like or because of what I share is upholding rape culture, and that I'm disappointed she would support that. You know what she said word for word? You know what she said word for word? She said, I knew you would flip out. The fuck you mean you knew I would flip out, Abuela? Word for word, she said, I knew you would flip out. When I told her how much her supporting Mono with what he says about my sexual assault hurt me, she said, I knew you would flip out. That's either intentionally antagonizing me or just still fucking dismissing me for shit I have proof of. Either way, it's supporting rape apology. It's making her a rape apologist as well. Extremely fucking problematic. I'm extremely fucking disappointed in Abuela. And for her to act like she didn't say the fucking shit she said about me, here's what she denied saying. Where she said, I never said that. Where she was saying, I never said that anything about my indigeneity. And I'm going to show y'all the full clip and give you context for it too in a minute. But here's it.
Supposed to be a native indigenous woman? Well, okay.
Oh my God, I can't believe God damn it, I just realized I've been muted. Ah, oh, fuck. How long was I muted for, guys? Oh, man. That's really unfortunate. I'm hoping I've only been muted since, the end of, since when I was playing Abuela's live stream. I'm hoping that's what I got muted for. God damn it. I almost want to go see what the fuck was I muted for. Shit. You know what I'll do? I'll take a break at the end of this live stream and then go see and then come back from the break if there was anything I need to recover. So what I think I muted myself for was, and this was sucks. See, I don't have anybody watch my shit real time. So this is what sucks with that, because then I don't have people to tell me that I was muted. Okay, so basically I'm hoping, if I'm not mistaken, that I forgot to unmute after I played this, if I'm not mistaken. That is what I'm really hoping that that's all. And basically, I was just saying that I had proof that Abuela claimed that, I had proof that Abuela was claiming that fucking, she never invalidated my indigeneity, but I could prove she did. And I have proof that Abuela said that she knew I would, what'd she say? She said, I knew you would flip out, is what she said to me when I called her out for supporting Mono, for dismissing my sexual assault and using rapist apologist vernacular on me, as well as what he said to Isla about her. She said, I knew you would flip out, and she claimed she never invalidated my indigeneity. So then we rolled the clip of what she did. I'm really hoping that's all I forgot to unmute for. But at the end of this live stream, I'm going to go back and rewatch and see. Also, but it's a good thing I came back here. Also, fucking in here, whenever Atvsiligi, which is Fleurette or whatever, whenever she popped up in the next live I was in, whenever she popped up, like, because of what had just happened with Abuela and feeling so gaslit by that, I just literally left the live stream. I didn't even have the mental capacity to fucking deal with that. And I forgot to put proof that I was in the panel and dropped. So I wanted to show that here. I was trying to, why is this image cut off? I swear to God, I thought that this had the full image. That's crazy. Okay, now I feel gaslit. Let's go to TikTok. I could have sworn that that was the whole reason I made that post, but it's only showing the square instead of the whole image. Hold on. Not here. So right here. This is what I was trying to show you guys. I just put it on my YouTube because I thought it would show here, but it cut it off. Oh, God damn it. That's over automatically playing. Okay, so right here, when I was in this live stream, whenever in Kiki's live stream, whenever Fleurette came in, but Fleurette triggered me so much that I fucking dropped. Because, like, after the Abuela situation gaslighting me, when they both are gaslighting me, it's no, it's really fucking triggering for me, the way that they support Andrew Moreno and his antics, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Oh, and also, while I'm at it, shit. Let's go back to TikTok real quick. While I'm at it, I also posted another post I made on Mono today, was I had reposted this shit. And so I'm gonna play that at the end, fuck it. What I was saying at the beginning, I posted that on TikTok too. And it says, throwing my sexual assault in my face, hiding behind MMIW. Hell no, Andrew Moreno. So I did post that. So here, now if y'all remember, this is Cyber Cheese's profile right here. This is her Snapchat avatar. Mono is posting a little Snapchat thing of them cuddling up. And this is a 19-year-old and a man that's like 40 years old, mind you. Okay? And then here we also have Romano's posting again, him and Cyber Cheese, right? And mind you, he's like 40 years old, she's 19. He also posted this image right here. It says it's Auntie season, and it has like almost like the trucker girl stereotype cutout silhouette women's figurines that you see often on trucks, like for like a sticker. It's kind of like one of those, but it's got a woman with curves and two feathers popping out as if it's an indigenous woman, and over it says Stairs in Indigenous, and it says it's Auntie season and I welcome all the love. I. This is where our cover photo today comes from Mono's post here. So here he is sexualizing indigenous women while blaming us if we sexualize ourselves for our own sexual assault and dismissing our sexual assaults, while saying he protects indigenous women, yet he's weaponizing violent rhetoric against indigenous women that perpetuates the missing and murdered indigenous woman crisis. So yeah, extremely triggering for me in my opinion. And I just want to prove again, he is claiming North Fork tribe, did I say folk? North Fork, apologies. He's claiming the North Fork, California Mono tribe, and that is also posted all over his TikTok. And I was looking on his TikTok for some form of evidence that he himself was the one who posted the tribal IDs that are going around on him, but I could find no evidence that Mono was the one who has ever shared this content himself. But what you will see is that Mono does share not only a lot about MMIW, he also, in my opinion, seems to be attacking many different women, as well as attacking a lot of indigenous people, in my opinion, and then he will put up his missing and murdered indigenous handprint signs. So yeah, I find that a bit problematic. And I was looking for any form of evidence, that he was the one and that ever posted the screenshot, not the screenshot, the screenshots that I have, that he was ever the one that posted the fake enrollment card, and we're going to get to that in a bit as well. So yeah, hold that for later. Before we get there, I want to show you guys literally the same day that Andrew Moreno had texted Isla all of those terrible things, dismissing my sexual assault, he showed up in a fucking live stream I was in. The same fucking day. We were like, what the fuck? And, yeah. The same fucking day. So, in regards to that, so the same fucking day that Mono told me that fucked up shit about my rape, he's showing up in the same live streams I'm in, right? And at the same time, the next day is when Fleurette and Abuela want to act like nothing fucking happened, and Abuela was claiming that she never invalidated my indigeneity and that she knew I would flip out when I told her what Mono said to me. Yeah, okay. And so Mumi, she made a post about this situation as well when I got removed, so I'm going to play that video real quick.
To any bitch that talk to him and they in love, just make sure you hide your little sister from them. They tell me Chubb's the only one that get your hand-me-downs. And party at the party playing with his nose now. And Baka got a weird case where I see around. Certified lover boy, certified
yes or no question.
40-year-old man, fuck 'em up.
Yes or no question.
Why you trolling like a bitch, ain't You tired? Trying to strike a chord, and it's probably A minor. They not like us. They not like us. They not like us. They not like.
Auntie wanted me to go to the store.
It automatically started playing. I don't know why. And I just realized I think I forgot to mute. So apologies if there was an echo there. But basically, just to read this over for anyone who wasn't able to read it when it happened. So what she had shared was basically where Mono removed me after I made a video saying, do you think it's okay for a 40-year-old man to have relationships with teenagers, right? He removed me for that from his group. And for basically just speaking out. He removed me from his groups for speaking out, saying that men in their 40s, men around 40 should not be talking to teenagers for a relationship purpose. I was saying that, and that's why he removed me from his groups, claiming that I was attacking him. And and my friend Mumi, she was like, I like to get people like you arrested. That's what Mumi told him. And he was like, well, I'm going to tell my attorney. And she was like, go right the fuck ahead, bitch. Anyway, so in the caption for this, Mumi Starr had said, he's going to call him a pretendia now. Let me go hide my teenage daughter while he goes and cries about it. Hide your teens from him, though. He can call me white or whatever he wants. I know he's not in the Mono tribe, and they got grounds to sue his stupid ass. He claims Mexica, which is very close to Taíno, as we fought in wars side by side. Don't make me do more digging. I can and I will, and I will find out. This fool's a liar and uses indigenous status to talk to young teens and young adults and gets manipulated into things. He's a predator. Don't let this man in your circle. Y'all know I don't post things unless I have evidence. And I said, why isn't it showing the fucking comment, dude? I said, this shit has triggered me so much, weaponizing my sexual assault. And when I told Abuela what he said, she said word for word, I knew you would flip out. And when I called her out for basically acting like I'm a pretendian in the clip you sent me, she said word for word, I never said that. And I was like, I have the recording, Abuela. And then Mumi Starr said, I literally screen recorded and read everything on my captions. When I saw your name being mentioned, I turned my captions off and screen recorded because the phone doesn't screen record while captions are on. And I recorded as much as I can before I sent it. Abuela is a liar, a straight liar. She's covering herself. And I believe Mumi Starr over Abuela because as we've seen in that other live stream, I believe that Abuela has no problem lying to me about everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I used to believe that perhaps Abuela wasn't trying to lie. Maybe Mono was convincing her certain things, and so she was regurgitating what Mono wanted her to say, is what I thought for a bit. Now, but seeing the way Abuela has doubled down on these things, and Abuela, she was also calling Isla a whore and telling Isla she's for the streets, is what Isla told me. And so, fucking Abuela doing all of that, you know what I'm saying? She's more than doubling, tripling down on supporting Mono. She's also engaging in this problematic behavior against indigenous women who are more than half her age. She's way older than us. And it's really shocking and alarming to see her act this way. So yeah, I've already addressed everything. What I'm gonna do, I think, now is we're gonna watch this video. I'm gonna put it on 1.75 speed. And we are just going to watch it. I might end up doing a reaction because I can't fucking help myself. But, yeah. So, I have here the captions turned on. It might take me a second to get the caption to turn on. But hopefully it works. Let's see.
They're not to be trusted. Who does that? Who fucking does that? Go gather information so you can go have a live, so you have content for a live. This is what I'm talking about. Natives eating their own.
So, whenever I don't show proof of what is being said, Abuela accuses me of lying, even if I have the proof, but didn't show it. And then when I do show proof of what was said, Abuela accuses me of gathering information. It feels to me, in that situation, she's just trying to dismiss me, invalidate me, etc.
She's supposed to be a native indigenous woman. Well, okay.
And this is what Abuela told me she did not say. But she did say it. I have the proof. She said it right fucking here. She said I never said that. Yes, you did, bitch. It's right fucking here. Okay. I don't know why it did that. Let's try refreshing.
You hit on her.
Who fucking does that? Go gather information so you can go have a live, so you have content for a live.
I don't need content for live. I have so many other things I want to talk about. I don't need a content for live. That's not why the fuck I'm doing a live stream on this situation. I'm doing a live stream on this situation because I believe you're not holding him accountable. I believe you are enabling him to continue and perpetuate violence against women. I believe engaging in behavior that invalidates sexual assault, that victim blames rape survivors, is behavior that perpetuates the missing and murdered Indigenous woman crisis. And I believe weaponizing missing and murdered Indigenous woman crisis against rape victims is extremely fucking problematic. I believe invalidating Indigenous people is extremely fucking problematic when they can prove that they are Indigenous. I understand when you have questions for someone who has not ever proven that they are Indigenous and may not necessarily have their historical facts correct. I understand questioning someone in those situations because I've questioned people before. However, when someone can prove they are Indigenous and you're still calling them a pretendian or still acting like they're not Native enough because you don't agree with what they're doing, that's you participating in Indigenous erasure. Whenever you're supporting a man that dismisses sexual assault and you're saying if someone speaks out about these things, they just want content, you right there are perpetuating the missing and murdered Indigenous woman crisis. You're being misogynistic and you are upholding rape culture, in my opinion. And how the fuck are you gonna say that I'm just using this for content while you're the one on a fucking live stream also? Then what the fuck are you doing, bitch? Are you just using this for content? Because it doesn't even seem to fucking matter to you. You don't seem to fucking give a shit at all about these human rights issues. Otherwise, how the fuck are you still defending and supporting Mono when there's the fucking evidence for what the fuck he says and does? Oh, maybe it's because you don't want to admit what the fuck you say and do. Miss, oh, I never said that. Yes, you did, bitch.
This is what I'm talking about. Natives eating their own. She's supposed to be a Native Indigenous woman? Well, okay.
That's what he fucking said. Where would he have time to hook up with Tiana? And we're like, this is like from back in the day, like 2 years ago. You hit on her, and he's like, no.
What was that conversation? Didn't he have like an 8-hour conversation with her when he first?
I've already shown you guys the clip where he admitted to flirting with her. I'm not going into that. Tiana is teenager number 1. Cyber Cheese is teenager number 2. I was trying to hit play. I don't know what the fuck. Shit. This thing is so fucking annoying.
That's what he fucking said. Where would he have time to hook up with Tiana? And we're like, this is like from back in the day, like 2 years ago. You hit on her, and he's like, no.
What was that conversation? Didn't he have like an 8-hour conversation with her when he first met her?
Yeah, something like that.
So obviously he did find the time.
Mm-hmm.
And mind you, in this live stream, we've got Fleurette supporting Abuela and validating my indigeneity. Let's go over that for a second. Hold on. Now, here are the questions that I've had about Fleurette ancestry. On November 23rd, 2025, she had told me then, let me turn off these captions for now. She had told me that she was claiming Ka'oki through the Redman line of Wahanga Noche. And I believe she claimed Namsaman tribe through her Tucker line, is what she told me on November 23rd, 2025. However, I cannot find a Tucker line connected to the Namsaman tribe that I'm aware of. The closest thing is that Elizabeth was known as Tucker, but I'm confused as to that statement. However, I'm not connected enough to the Namsaman tribe to know the historical accuracies about all of those lineages, so I could be wrong on that. On December 2nd, 2025, she told my cousin, apologies, that she also claimed Apechikana was chief cornstalk, which makes no sense. And she claimed Pasapehet and Arahatek. And there are no living descendants of either of those tribes. Anyone that actually has that ancestry would have been put into other tribes, and those would be the tribes that they are now connected to. So it would be either completely inaccurate to say that you are Pasapehet and Arahatek, or you are not aware of Powhatan history in order to know what tribe you're actually supposed to identify as now. On December 9th, 2025, she claimed that Tralita was Cherokee, she claimed Cornstalk was Cherokee, and then claimed Cornstalk was Apechikana. And then she claimed that Tralita was Yapasal's wife, which makes no fucking sense. And she claimed that she was connected to Cherokee, and then she was claimed that she was not verified Cherokee, and then she claimed that she had Cherokee lineage 5 generations back. On December 9th, 2025, I was going to ask if she was referring to Keziah Tucker, which is another name for Elizabeth Bass. On December 13th, 2025, I was told by a Cherokee woman that Cornstalk is Shawnee in her opinion, because we were looking into that. She did not believe Cornstalk was Cherokee, and she didn't know about Tralita. She said Tralita could be bullshit. Because when you Google Tralita, it literally says that Tralita is a Cherokee Indian princess myth legend, is literally what the fuck it says. Now, I also want to show you guys, let's see here, in miscellaneous. So, hold on, that's not it. We'll get back to that. Hold on. Aha. So, this is a conversation I had with Fleurette. And to Fleurette, I had sent her the link to an Eastern Algonquian Woodland tribe group. I was sending her a group. It says, Eastern Woodland Revitalization Facebook group is where a lot of other Powhatans and other Eastern Woodland tribes share community info and resources, especially about powwow and ceremony. Highly recommend joining for staying connected to Powhatan community. And I sent her the link, and she said, thank you, I joined. Okay? And just confirming that this is her. Now, so mind you, I was actually trying to help her get connected and verify her lineage. And I had shown you guys, if I'm not mistaken, did I already show you guys? I actually can't remember. I don't think I did. I do also have, oh, this is a wrong folder. That makes sense. So I do have proof as well. I'm going to find it. Aha. Okay. We're going to go into that. So, I do have proof as well where I was discussing with Fleurette about her genealogy and everything like that. So, at this point, I'd already blocked Fleurette, so her messages were no longer appearing for me whenever I go back into this Snapchat group to pull up messages. But in the conversation, Goth, where she says, Flo, if it bugs you that much, she's talking to Fleurette. That's what she calls Fleurette, Flo. So, I had said, I get questioning, for example, I asked you, how are you Powhatan right versus invalidating without cause? If someone gives an answer that historically doesn't make sense, and I get invalidating them, but other than that, I'm not the enrollment office. My cousin said, at first I was skeptical, but then I got to know you, only because our tribe has faced many pretendians throughout history. And I said, look at Megan and Victoria, for example. Last year they were cousins. This year they both call each other pretendian. And then LA Goth said, Flo, if it bugs you that much, do your life, call them out. Just know they never appreciated you as a friend. And she's talking about Chuy, and she calls Manny tampon. And which I've been saying, I don't think we should call Manny a tampon. She calls him tampon warrior. I believe tampons are actually useful and Manny is not. So I prefer to call him something like a dildo. I don't know. But you know what I mean? Like, a dildo isn't useful on its own. Somebody else, has to make it useful. I don't know. But I mean, I guess any object is the same, but whatever. Anyway, so here's that conversation. And then I said, if you watch them argue, they do that shit all the time. If they don't have anything actually on you, they just call you a pretendian, which is why I believe I'm being called one. And they say, and I also told Fleurette, and I don't think you're lying about what you found in your family tree for Powhatans. When I suggested previously to get your lineage confirmed, that's only because there can be misinformation out there, but at the same time, a lot of it is right, and either way, it's not up for me to verify it. So, she was saying that she didn't want to get her lineage confirmed because she only had her cell phone and she couldn't do it on her phone. I've done it on my phone previously, so I didn't understand that logic, but that's what she was saying, whatever. And fucking, I basically was saying, like, I still don't think that, she's necessarily lying about what she may have found in her family tree. I think what she's saying could possibly be true statements for what she found, but I've never seen proof of that because she's never shown that. But I do still think that even if she found those things in her family tree, it was misinformation. In terms of the list I gave y'all before. Oh, also, I just remembered in the Tawana Harley live stream that is linked in the Mono playlist, I also discussed my questions with Fleurette's ancestry there as well, and you can search the transcript to find that. Now, we also had the conversation, and related to this, she had said, where it says this message is unavailable is where she was telling me that she didn't want to redo her genealogy to get it confirmed because it was all on her phone. And I said, and she couldn't do it on her phone is what she was saying. I said, that shit is annoying to do. Using family search on my phone is finicky because the tree will show you what the preferred parents are set to be instead of who you descend from. But I just go change the preferred parents to my documented ancestors when I do it on my phone. And she was also saying that people had deleted her ancestors and she couldn't restore it. And I said, I hate when they delete that shit and you can't restore it. They once deleted Mary Wahunga Noche from Wahunga Noche's kids, and I put her back with a video from a historian, like, y'all are being anti-indigenous, you dismiss the tribe on who is tribe. And, yeah. But, yeah, fucking, and then from there, it goes into a different conversation, and also, right here, where the message is unavailable, that was a message from Mono talking about how much more views he had gotten than Don Chuy. I don't have evidence of that message because me and him got blocked from each other before I could record that. However, the response was from KB, I'm so proud of you, that's a lot of views. Because Mono was saying how many views. He was like, I've gotten so many more views than Don Chuy, was what Mono had said, basically. And KB responded, I'm so proud of you, that's a lot of views. And if I remember correctly, I believe that Fleurette had also said something similar. But, yeah, me and her, I blocked her and all that. So, they're accusing me of using this conversation for views and content, but meanwhile, in my opinion, that's their mindset, not mine. And then another conversation I had with Fleurette, which, right here, my cousin says, I apologize to hear that, Flo. Condolences to you, which backs up that we were talking to Fleurette, to Flo, even though I had her blocked, so the message I was responding to is unavailable. She was claiming that she was Cherokee here, and I said, oh, that's cool, y'all enrolled. It's interesting, and she was saying she was not enrolled because her lineage went too far back. I said, it's interesting how you can have the same ancestry as someone who is enrolled, and then it be like a generation or something that legally invalidates you. I'm not understanding that logic. You would think only people with blood quantum would benefit, or am I processing wrong? Okay, I don't know. The second part of this conversation here, I think I was responding to something she said, but I don't remember what she said now. But that second part of this conversation isn't about the first part. But she was talking because I was responding to something she had said about blood quantum, but whatever. Anyway, and then I had also told her, if you got your dad enrolled, couldn't you get enrolled after that? If he's still living, may he rest in peace. If not, but I don't believe he is still around. So may he rest in peace. But yeah. So here's the conversation here, right, that I was having with Fleurette. So as y'all can see, I've shown you guys, I've had these conversations with her about what is her lineage, what's the historical accuracy. I've encouraged her to get her lineage confirmed by our actual tribes, and I invited her in to a Powhatan group so she could connect culturally and learn more. And so fucking, yeah, like her being in this live stream with Abuela and validating my indigeneity and supporting it when she's not even connected or confirmed by any tribe, and when she literally like said she didn't want to do it whenever I tried to push her to do it, pisses me the fuck off. You know what I'm saying? It pisses me the fuck off. Yeah, and mind you, my father presents as indigenous, okay? My dad was raised with an indigenous perspective, okay? My dad has that perspective, that reality, that lived experience. So everybody likes to say that because I look white, because of who my mother is, I don't have an indigenous experience. But what about my father? What about my father? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, for her to have said those things just pisses me off to no end. So what I'm going to do now is try to finish playing this. I'm sorry.
Boy. So I guess for him, now's the time to cover his ass and cover his tracks. So of course he's going to distance himself now. He knows what he did. He's the one that brought her into the matriarchs. If I remember correctly, she met Manny before she met anybody else. And the ladies in the matriarchs. And correct me if I'm wrong.
They need to start, what they need to do for people to go live on here is they need to require them to show ID.
But they do require you to show ID. So how the heck did she get on? Was she using somebody else's account to go live? Or to be on there talking? Was she using an older adult's account?
Or was she just honest?
Because one thing, I do have to agree with one thing he said, and that is that a person that starts off any kind of relationship with a lie is not to be trusted.
I never showed my ID till last week for payouts.
I did when I set up an account.
Yeah, same.
I didn't. And I was able to go live.
Well, that was fucking awkward as fuck because I don't know if that addressed anything.
It didn't address anything. He just came over, took over your panel, and left like he always does. Did he answer your questions? No. Were you able to ask him anything? No. That's his MO.
He cannot cool the burning kiss of thirst of its lips, nor shade the scorching fury of the sun. All about is desolation. He can neither bless nor curse.
But look at this, and that is the fallout. And there is a fallout behind all this shit. You got people jumping on a hate train. Remember I was saying this the other day.
So if I call out Andrew Moreno for what the fuck he's saying about my sexual assault, for trying to engage with teenagers, for sexualizing me thinking I was a teenager when I wasn't, fucking all of these things of that nature, I'm jumping on a hate train? Are you fucking kidding me? But you don't think that you invalidating my indigeneity, you don't think that you invalidating the evidence that I have on all of this is you doing the same? Okay. All right.
Back in the, I was trying to make a joke out of it. Back in the 70s, people were jumping on the soul train. Right now, people are jumping on the hate train.
At the end of human strength, beaten into the dust from which he came, the metal is ready for the maker's hand.
So the situation at hand is you have a minor that was on TikTok that lied to all of us, saying that they were another age to appear older.
I fucking disagree with that, because what if you have a teenager who just wants to see music? go to a music venue because they just want to see music, get sexually assaulted, are you going to then victim blame the teenager for wanting to go see music? Like, no. This rhetoric upholds rape culture. And I don't agree with sitting there trying to act like a teenager is more responsible for being held accountable for a man in his 40s trying to have a relationship with her than the fucking man in his 40s. It's one thing to want to educate a teenager on the dangers of society and why they need to be safe and not move in this way for their legal protection and for their physical protection and their mental protection and things of that nature, versus completely victim blaming the teenager. If the worst thing a teenager did is lie saying they're 18, you know how many times I snuck into rated R movies when I was in middle school and high school and I was not 18? You know, it's pretty common. People will buy tickets for one show. You just buy a random fucking movie ticket and then you just walk into the theater for the movie you want to see. I used to do that shit all the fucking time when I was in middle school and high school, right? Like, I understand wanting to be, when you're so young, you just want to experience life. You're not sitting there like, oh, let me pretend to be something I'm not with malicious intent. It's about, they just want to experience life. You know what I'm saying? And to weaponize that over a teenager, instead of holding the 40-year-old man accountable because you're supporting the 40-year-old man talking to teenagers, is something I will never fucking get behind. Ever. Ever. And what about all the fucking lies that Andrew Moreno has told? Does that not fucking matter? I guess not. So it's okay for Andrew Moreno Mono to lie as a 40-year-old man. But let's all shit on the fucking teenagers for wanting to engage in certain spaces. Got it. Fuck you.
And this is the chaos out of it all. And excuse me if I don't have any pity on what the fallout is, because we were lied to.
So why the fuck do you have pity for Mono then? Why the fuck are you still supporting and defending him?
And it appears like the other adults want to use this situation as a way of revenge towards others. So you're weaponizing that situation to your advantage.
He says that I'm sick. So
I feel like that everything Abuela says other people are doing is exactly what Abuela does, in my opinion. Because she's the one weaponizing this shit to attack a fucking teenager. And she's fucking 60. She's like 60, she's gotta be 60. If she's in her 50s, I'll be shocked.
supporting that. And I'm like, you hit on her too.
We're the sick ones because we're not jumping on the hate train. We're the sick ones because we don't believe like them. So you know what? Them bitches can say all the hateful shit they want. They can.
Me discussing why it's problematic for a 40-year-old man to dismiss rape culture, to use MMIW to attack Indigenous women, and to talk to teenagers isn't jumping on a hate train. But you are right about one thing. You are the sick ones, because I do think you're a sick fuck.
They can put up all the hateful videos they want. It's a reflection of you and your own ignorance and your own hate.
I believe Abuela speaking is a reflection of her own ignorance and her own hate. Because how do you hate the youth so much that you would speak with malice towards a teenager for wanting to experience life, but you're totally fine with a 40-year-old man preying on them? Got it.
Seriously, that's your own reflection. I'm sorry that you guys didn't grow up with maternal paternal love, and you don't know what it is to be a.
If you had an ounce of maternal love, you wouldn't treat women half your age, a third of your age, like fucking shit. You wouldn't treat teenagers like they are evil. But while you're supporting a 40-year-old man sexualizing Native women, accusing Native women for being responsible for their own rape, dismissing the rape of Native women while hiding behind MMIW. The hypocrisy pisses me off.
Family, you don't. And this is how you react. This is what you put out. Hate. Because you don't know what it is to be the.
Okay, what the fuck? So if I discuss that it's wrong for a man in his 40s to have a relationship with a teenager, that's putting out hate. If I sit here and I discuss that all of the things that Andrew Moreno said in message to Isla about her own indigeneity and about my rape, if I call that out, then somehow they're claiming that I don't know what it is to be a family because they have maternal and paternal love? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? You see, I'm not just a daddy's girl. I'm my fucking father's daughter. And you do not want to fucking play with me, bitch.
Like cammed up one time. She said she was getting ready to go over to her dad's house. So we thought, she had her own place.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we all thought.
And when someone tells you they're an adult, they're puffing and puffing. I'm an adult. I wish people would leave me the fuck alone. What? It's not my place to police nobody. Are we supposed to be carding people? Are we supposed to be?
You say it's not your place to police anybody, but meanwhile, you're calling anybody speaking out against a 40-year-old dating teenagers stupid fucks. You're saying anybody speaking out about a 40-year-old dating teenagers, they're the hateful ones. So you're policing the people who speak out on a 40-year-old dating teenagers, but then when it comes to holding the 40-year-old accountable for dating teenagers, you want to say you're not policing anybody? All right, bitch. Okay, bitch, I fucking see you.
Carding people? Isn't it TikTok's job to card people? I know it's not my job to be carding people. Again, I ask the same question. You got women up here that are on this hate train, but what about your situations? Some of you are 50, 60 years old, and you're shacking up with a 30, 40-year-old. What man you're living with is old.
That's also disturbing. Like, that is two wrong actions don't make a right one. The fuck? Like, what the?
Enough to be your son. So what's the difference in that situation?
Are you gonna call out Fleurette for calling Mono a hottie then? Because that was fucking disturbing.
What is the difference in that situation? Age is nothing but a number when it comes to situations like that. Yet nobody will answer that.
Also, if you don't understand the power dynamics between a man in his 40s over a teenager and the difference between when a woman is 30 or 40 engaging with a 50 or 60-year-old, you're the one with problems. No, you are, for real, because you can't fucking convince me that the power dynamics, that the social issues there are equal. That's mind blown. I'm fucking mind blown.
Why would she lie? Why would she lie that he hit on her?
Oh, because Carmen's gonna come after him. Carmen's gonna motherfucker him up to death. F1. I love TikTok shop.
Yeah.
That's why. I mean, she was already suspecting him of not being, I'm going to assume that in Carmen's head they had a relationship, and he was unfaithful to that relationship, is what I'm going to guess. Especially if you're staring at other women or, making comments on other women. How could you not think that?
I don't even know why he came up. Just to confirm that he did hit on her. The fuck?
I think they're both fucking dumbasses.
You hear what he said? You invited him up.
Yeah, I did. I was like...
He was itching to come up, KB. You know that.
I don't even know why I have you... Why I ran into you. Because I had you blocked. I'm like... The fuck, I don't fucking know either. Shit. I have you blocked. He's like, I just unblocked you. I'm like, I still have you blocked. I'm like, so I don't know how the fuck you came in here. I know. He's like, I don't even know how the fuck I got in here because I just unblocked you. I'm like, I still have you blocked. I still have you blocked. So yes, I don't know how the fuck you got in here. And then he's like, I don't know what's so sick about that. Well, it's an 11-year-old child in a receipt room. Just fucking talking about that shit. But the thing is, like, I believe Manny though. I believe he doesn't have anything to do with that receipt room.
But he's trying to deny knowledge. He's also trying to deny knowledge of the receipt room. Full well he knows about that room. But I get it. He's trying to totally disassociate. Now he's trying to do his buddy. He's trying to return the favor to his buddy since his buddy has his back.
So, Chuy is his buddy. They are buddies.
Yes.
Oh.
Until they piss each other off, then they'll tear each other up. That'll just be a matter of time. Isn't that what these guys do? They get pissed off at somebody and they'll tear each other up. They eat their own. Seen it.
So now, where she accuses me of doing that because I'm speaking out about the rape cultural aspects here and the predatory nature of why I believe it's wrong for men in their 40s to be trying to have relationships with teenagers, where they're saying that I'm the one trying to tear on my own community or some shit like that. I believe they're self-projecting because that's what they're used to doing in their community. And they don't know me well enough to understand that's not how the fuck I move.
And many times they have a fallout with somebody and they go for the jugular.
Yeah.
Just like that child.
It's kind of disappointing that he's standing with Manny and then he's totally denying hitting on.
Of course he is.
On, ¿cómo se llama? Tiana. But then he admits hitting on Paola. He also hit on Paola. He's like, you mean Paola?
I heard that one.
Like, you got it confused. I was like, well, thanks for confirming Paola.
Yep.
He don't give a fuck.
Nope.
In his eyes, he's single. Which he is, technically. He is single.
And probably will be for life.
Oh. There you go. Oh my God. There you go.
Oh, excuse me.
Mono must have fallen asleep. He said he was just in alive with Monica, yelling at him, calling him a predator and shit.
Hasn't this girl Monica, hasn't he like really been offensive to her?
That's Monique.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Hasn't he really been offensive to her?
Yeah, they both have to each other.
Okay, so that's one relationship where neither party is ever going to talk nice to each other ever. So why even try anymore?
Oh, like why talk to each other?
Why even pretend that you're trying to be nice?
They don't. They start attacking each other as soon as they see each other.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's like, there's instant hate there, and it's like, why go there? Why even do it?
Well, to call him out, like, why do you have my kid's picture in some chat room?
Well, you just heard him. It's not me. I know nothing. It's not me.
But it really isn't him, because he doesn't know any of that shit. Like,
no, it's Chuy.
Yeah,
we know it's Chuy.
We had to tell him.
We know they're the keepers of that room, so it's them.
Yeah. Yeah. So they are the creators and keepers.
You notice how he's so concerned that you be okay with Ampo?
What the fuck? Yeah. Why? You know why? Because he keeps telling me these are the people I vibe with, and I'm like, Ampo's just not a good person. Like, she's not nice to women. And he's just like, you have to just accept it. In a way, or try. I don't know.
That's his tapanalgas, that's his tapanalgas. So of course he's always going to protect her,
Yeah, but she can't punish us like a white woman.
Hey, she's not punishing me. She can spill all the shit she wants, but her shit don't affect me. Just like all the shit that what's her name? She's irritating me because she to me it's offensive that you go into somebody's personal chat and you're going to go spill everything that they're saying.
You told me that if I didn't show proof, I was lying. But now, if I share the proof, I'm offensive? So it sounds like you just don't want me to fucking speak on what happened then. Sounds like you're just silencing me now, isn't it? Are you fucking kidding me? And you're more mad that I'm showing the evidence of Andrew Moreno, Mono, covering up and engaging with relations with a teenager. You're more mad at me for exposing that than at him for engaging with a teenager. With 2 teenagers! 2! Okay, yeah, I'm irritated by you too, bitch.
That's offensive. You've just shown yourself to be an unreliable person.
How am I unreliable for showing the truth? You think I'm unreliable for showing the truth, but you don't think you're unreliable for trying to cover it up? Got it. Got it. Got it. And you guys decide what's more reliable to you.
You've just shown yourself to be a dangerous person because you can't be trusted.
You think I'm dangerous for outing out a 40-year-old talking to 2 teenagers, but you don't think you're dangerous for enabling it? You think I'm dangerous for calling out Mono for what the fuck he said about my rape, about my sexual assault, but you don't think you're dangerous for upholding rape culture? Okay, bitch, fuck you. Fuck you. You are a danger to society, in my opinion.
If I were her friend, I would be worried that she'll be talking about me next.
Any of my friends? No. I only out this type of shit if it comes down to human rights issues. And you know what? Don't tell me shit then. I'm okay with that. I would rather not fucking know. But any of my friends, we have value alignment. They know I would never be sharing shit like this unless it came down to human rights related issues. You know how much shit I know about people that I never fucking share? that I would never share because there's no reason to go dump out everybody's fucking laundry just because we don't get along anymore or some shit. I don't fucking do that. Anytime I ever come public with something, it's because I truly, truly, truly believe that what was said is dangerous to others and that other people should be aware of what could potentially be in their space. And I am totally fine with people moving away from me before outing the things I out. Because in my opinion, that means we do not have value alignment. And if, in my opinion, you look at what I do put out when it comes to the human rights issues, and you think, oh, I don't see her as a friend because if I told her these things about myself, she would say that, then to me, that's very telling about the type of person you are. Just saying.
Next, you know? So I'm like, you want to be a friend with a person like that? Good luck to you. 'Cause that's not a friend, that's a spy.
I don't think you're a friend. You're backing Mono for invalidating my sexual assault. You're upholding rape culture. That's not a good friend. What happened to women supporting women? What happened to the missing and murdered Indigenous movement? You don't give a fuck about that now, do you? That's not a good friend. And a woman, in my opinion, who knows information and covers it up, that is someone that acts like a spy, in my opinion. Because you are fully aware of these things, and you're still trying to cover it up and gaslight about it.
Bye. When you can't talk freely in a chat because you got to worry that somebody's going to put it out on a video and break it down and analyze it like Judge Judy.
If you can't talk freely about dating teenagers, and if you're mad that I'm going to show proof for what the fuck you said because you're supporting that bullshit, and if you're mad that I'm going to show how you backed up Mono and validating my rape, and you think that I'm the fucked up one for that, you've got fucking problems. It sounds more like you just don't want to be accountable for your own behavior. That's very fucking telling. You should always worry about what the fuck you're going to say, because it could always get out. And if you think you can't speak freely about enabling 40-year-old men to date teenagers because somebody might cover that, you're the fucking problem, in my opinion, not the person who wants to air it out, in my opinion. And so this is why I believe the answer to the toxic TikTok unveiled question, why did it take so long for Mono to get outed? Women like this, every step of the way, covering his ass.
Get the fuck out of here.
I blocked you, bitch. I blocked all you bitches. I got the fuck out. Fuck you. Why don't you get the fuck out? Stay the fuck out of Native spaces if you don't want to protect Native women, bitch.
And they're going to break down and analyze after they take a hit or two of shatter. Come on.
First of all, I'm low on weed. I have no more dabs, so I can't even fucking take a hit of shatter if I wanted to. Second of all, if maybe you took a hit of dabs, you wouldn't be such a fucking raging bitch. Fuck you. There's nothing wrong with smoking weed. Suck my fucking dick, bitch. She has more malice for someone smoking weed than for a 40-year-old man talking to teens.
I don't understand this generation when they break down and do shit like that.
I don't understand your generation where you cover up shit like this.
No, basically, Danny is sending with someone who would hit a woman.
Yes.
Who is Don Chuy.
Yes.
Don Chuy.
But he's just this.
So, when it comes to Don Chuy, I heard that Don Chuy threatened to slap Ladybug. And if that is the truth, if that happened, Don Chuy, I will fucking slap you next time I see you. Don't you ever threaten to slap a woman. I will slap you, bitch.
He's just as abusive. He's verbally abusive. And he's got years of it on this app. The videos are there. You can't deny the videos that are there. And there's dozens of them.
And that's what, like, surprises me. Like, you're standing next to somebody that literally would hit a woman.
Yes.
And you're co-signing.
Yep. That's what I'm saying. And vice versa.
And you tend to act like no.
And they're both trying to point the finger at somebody else to deflect from their own shit.
That's what the fuck you do, Abuela.
That's why I was talking the other day about trauma dumping. When people get triggered and all this shit.
I don't want to hear a goddamn thing about them trauma dumping, okay? Because no. Abuela, she was going on and on and on forever about how she's been sexually assaulted. She was going on and on and on about how she should have stood up against Manny as a Pura Petra woman. We have Fleurette. She's gone on and on and on about her mental health diagnosis and her family surgical issues and trauma, okay? They go on and on and on about their trauma. But the fact that I mentioned my rape at all to them ever is what they hold over me. For trauma dumping, fuck you bitches. KB's the only one that didn't share details about herself like that. So KB's the only one that actually didn't engage in sharing her life that way, which is fine. No one has to. But she's the only one that, if you want to call any of what we said trauma dumping, KB's the only one that didn't do it. Everybody else in that fucking group chat, trauma dumpers. If you want to call me a trauma dumper, how much shit did I listen to you guys for? And on most of those group calls, you know who did most of the talking? Abuela and Fleurette. You two bitches don't shut the fuck up. You don't. Abuela interrupts everybody. Anytime anybody tries to speak, Abuela starts interrupting them. Okay? Like, you two bitches monopolize the conversation. We listened to you guys for so long, for so many fucking days, for weeks straight. All right, but if I share my issues, I'm trauma dumping. Yeah, fuck you, bitch.
Shit, you know, they're gonna, boy, if they fixate on you.
And Mono, don't get me started on the trauma dumping from Mono. Whether it be from all of the different relationships he has, oh, they're calling me a pedophile, or you know what the fuck you told me happened to you as a child.
You better be careful. And that's what Death Child is doing right now.
Me discussing the shit that Mono said about my rape that you support. Me discussing why it's wrong for a 40-year-old man to engage this way with teenagers, and me showing the proof of it, because you said I was lying if I didn't show the proof. But now that I'm showing the proof, you're saying that they need to be careful around me because I showed the proof. But you don't think that teenagers need to be careful around Andrew Moreno Mono? Okay, bitch, I still see you.
She's fixated. She's hurt. She's fixated. And
No. Me covering what the fuck you're saying doesn't mean I'm fixated. How am I fixated for simply covering the fucked up shit y'all are saying to me about me? But you don't think you're fixated for still saying all this fucked up shit? Because if you weren't saying any of this fucked up shit, I wouldn't be covering it. I'm not fucking fixated. I'm gonna address the bullshit you say though. And then I'm gonna leave you bitches alone. Stop fucking talking about me and I won't cover this shit if it doesn't come to me. And what about all the text messages that Andrew Moreno Mono sent to Isla? What about all those messages that he sent about my sexual assault? You don't think he's fixated on that? All right. You don't think he's fixated on talking to teenagers? You don't think you're fixated on enabling a 40-year-old to engage with relations with a teenager, with two teenagers? Okay.
she's got a machine gun full. She got a machine full of stuff that she's going to unload now.
The fuck you mean I have a machine gun full of stuff? Is that you admitting that I have material on you? Is that what that is? Why else would you think I have ammo? What? I wouldn't have shit to talk about if you weren't doing nothing wrong. And I think that's what fucking scares you and why you try to invalidate it.
And she's going to be analytical about everything.
What the fuck do you think you're doing? You don't think you're trying to analyze me? Talking about how you support rape apologists? Okay.
I mean, right now, if she could, she would probably analyze how we wipe our ass after we go take a shit.
Ew. No, thank you. Disgusting. But you know what's interesting though? My people that I descend from were some of the people that actually taught Europeans how to wipe their ass. So, fun fact, bitches. You know what I'm saying? Maybe if you smelled that bad, I would question if you wiped your ass. So, is that you telling on yourself that you don't know how to wipe your own ass? That's all I'm going to assume. I'm just going to assume you do not know how to wipe your own ass.
Do you think Ampo is just like his evil side?
His evil twin?
Yeah, his
I
evil
never
side.
thought about it like that, but you know what? That's a good analysis.
Yeah, like
His evil twin?
like that's his evil side. Like his evil side comes out with Ampo. With that group, with those people.
But
Because
see,
Manny's not like that. That's not his good side.
but see, here it is. Ampo is his
His
card
bad side.
into the native side. You know what I'm saying?
Indigenous side, like his wild side. Yeah. No?
Well, from some of the stuff that's been exposed, we definitely know that he likes to go on the wild side.
Anything goes.
Take a walk on the wild side.
The Wild West. That's all I can think
Walk on
of.
the wild side.
Right. So, that is the live stream that was sent to me. And little Abuela here, little Goth Abuela Echo Park lady likes to act like she didn't say the shit she said. But I got it on recording, bitch. I see you. I see you. Okay, just addressing that. Now, how the fuck do I get this? I think I have to hit play to make this captioner go away. Hold on.
They're not to be trusted.
Okay, I had to...
Who does that?
There we go. Okay, we're done with that now. So, I already read to you guys this conversation. Now let's get on to some more of the miscellaneous issues here. Yippee. So, Mono was threatening NavajoRezRunner. And this is a conversation between Isla and NavajoRezRunner that I was sent. Now, he threatened him, told him scold in, and NavajoRezRunner said if he ran into him, sure, that's not worth his important time. He's got protesting to do and helping family fight for those are indigenous tribal rights. And Isla Princesa, NavajoRezRunner, and Luna, I forgot her husband's name. Sorry, I don't know that dude as well. Shit. But Luna and her husband, all four of them, and other people, they went to and protested recently against ICE. I'm so fucking proud of them. But yes, anyway. So, Isla messaged me. Mono is asking I take my videos down and you as well. I said no. I will have nothing to do with him. I will not take my videos down. I will be covering Abuela and Fleurette lying next. And Isla said, I was like, why would I do that? I didn't lie about being in a federally recognized tribe or my age, and I also don't diddle a 16-year-old boy's inbox. And I said, oh damn, that had my jaw on the floor. I am so proud of you. And Isla said, yeah, it was from KB. That was my response, what I just sent. Hell yeah. And I said KB can kick rocks too. For her to even ask is triggering. Isla said, I just wanted to let you know she asked. I'm proud this is your response. I said, I'm proud of you letting her know, because hell no. I also said they take no accountability. They want to cause harm and cover up and gaslight. And Isla said, I am so disappointed in Abuela's lack of critical thinking skills. I said, I showed another cousin the messages. He said to say those things is fucking horrendous. Powhatan's got a problem with him now. And I said, same. I expected it from Fleurette. And she said, good. And I said, I expected more from KB and Abuela. To say what he said to women who descend from tribes first contacted by Spanish and English is a special type of trauma given our specific histories. Now, Mono had also told NavajoRezRunner, he said, your girl was hitting on me while she was with you, telling me how fine and sexy I am and how any woman will be lucky to have me. I got the text to DM. Proof. Isla never said any of that. He doesn't have the proof, or he would put it up. And then, He also told NavajoRezRunner, I challenge you to a one-on-one combat. To you, accept the challenge. I am a Mono and Mexica warrior, and I challenge you to a warrior one-on-one, hand-to-hand combat. To you, accept. Or are you going to be a coward Navajo? Is what he was saying. NavajoRezRunner replied, you talked a big game on trying to stand up for Indigenous women, till you found out about me. You became hurt, boy. Then you messaged me telling me to take care of her like the princess she is and deserves, to be respectful, so that doesn't go for you as an Indigenous man. What the fuck? What is wrong with you, boy? Now you're shaming me because I'm Navajo? Try coming to my res. So everything you said to my lady in messages is disrespect, calling her out and calling her names, that's B-boy. If we see each other, cool. Other than that, you're not worth my important time. I'm out protesting and traveling. You can sit behind the screen, son. Love all of these receipts, by the way, is what NavajoRezRunner told Mono, Abuela, and about all that. I just said Abuela, but whatever. Fuck that bitch too. And he said, he had also said to him, hey, piece of shit. And then he spoke in Dene, and I don't know, shit, I just said it the white people way, didn't I? I'm sorry, y'all. It's Dene, not Dene. I'm so sorry, guys. So he was speaking in Dene, and he said, so what's this I'm hearing on TikTok? Talk to me. You talk to me and apologize to Isla Picante from her man RezRunner. He said, yeah, I've seen the receipts of you trying to hit on her when she was only having conversations. You took it the wrong way, fool. Get it right. And yes, I see all her messages she sends me. I see you, Mono. Because she sent us those messages. She wasn't fucking hitting on him. I don't know if I got them. Whatever. And so then, Mono had said to Isla, thought you said you were taking down the post and call it a truce. What fucking truce, bitch? You have to take accountability for the fucking shit you said. And I'm not fucking taking my shit down. I believe there should be evidence of what he said, weaponizing my sexual assault and rape against me. I believe any woman in his space, particularly teenagers, because of what he was weaponizing on me, even though I wasn't a fucking teen, he thought I was, I think all of that shit needs to be shared. I think women need to be aware of what could be in their space. So no, I won't be taking my shit down, ever. Like, I don't know what the fuck you think there's gonna be a truce. And he said, well, are you? Isla said, I never said that, LOL. And then he responded, KB said that you had said that. And Isla said, I did ask KB, why would I do that? Then she hasn't responded. And Mono said, oh, okay, well, your choice. Yeah. So, also going around on Mono, is this probation hotline thing. This is not Andrew Moreno, that is Mono, but it's also a guy named Andrew Moreno. And so we looked into it and we were like, yeah, this is totally not him because the face doesn't match and neither does the age, right? But I'm like, you know what? Let's kill two birds with one stone and we can share the post because this person named Andrew Moreno, what a coincidence, actually does happen to be on the run for preying on children. And so here's what it says. I'm just going to tell you. It's got the probation hotline, and it says 626-308-5105. And it's got a photo of the Andrew Moreno that they are referring to. And it says vital stats, name, Moreno Andrew, age 33, race and gender, Hispanic male, 6'1", 230 pounds. He's got tattoos on left arm, right forearm. I'm assuming it just says arm, but whatever. Tattoo, right arm, left wrist, chest, hand, abdomen, back, head, finger, and things of that nature. And the gang is Eastside Dukes. Last known geographic location was Victorville area in California, and they've got a warrant for his arrest. This Andrew Moreno has an extensive adult criminal history that began at the age of 18. His convictions include assault with great bodily injury, sex with a minor, several cases of domestic violence with injury and accessory to a crime. He has served multiple state prison terms, the longest being a 4-year term for domestic violence with injury. Moreno was released from state prison to the supervision of the Los Angeles County Probation Department on March 5, 2017. Under the Governor's Public Safety Realignment Act of 2011, better known as Assembly Bill 109, the responsibility of lower-level offenders was shifted from the state to Los Angeles County. He subsequently failed to report to his probation officer, and an arrest warrant was issued November 2017 after he absconded from post-release community supervision. Moreno qualified to be released to the supervision of probation under the Assembly Bill 109 because his current commitment offense for domestic violence with injury is defined as non-serious and non-violent under the California Penal Code. His criminal history, gang association, and current failure to comply with the terms of release make him a most wanted. If you know his whereabouts, please contact. And it says, do you know the offender's whereabouts? Please call LA County Probation 626-308-5105. And the reason that we were sharing this was, even though we don't think that it is the Andrew Moreno that we are discussing today, is because why not kill two birds with one stone? If this actually is a predator still on the loose, fuck it, and we're talking about someone named Andrew Moreno anyway. If this raises awareness so now people can spot him and help this guy get arrested, that would be great. So if y'all do see this different Andrew Moreno, what a coincidence. If you're in California area, keep an eye out for this guy, okay? So, yeah. Right. So here, he claims Mono and Mexica. And I also want to discuss, there's some tribal IDs going around. So, in this tribal ID, so here we have a real example tribal ID. In this tribal ID, what you'll notice is there is no blurry background, and you can notice the cutout of the person's face, and look at the example address here, right? On the people are claiming that Andrew Moreno has presented this as his tribal ID. However, I looked for his post, and I cannot currently see any proof that Andrew Moreno is the one that has shown this as his ID. It would not surprise me either way if he's actually shared this as if it was his ID or if it was falsified by others. But the word on the street has been going out that he's the one who shared this. However, I've just seen no proof of him sharing it, and I checked his profiles. But if he is, and I believe he or whoever else did this, somebody has falsified this ID. And you can tell it's fake because look, first of all, look at the cutout of his photo. He's not even center in this picture. And if it was an ID, an actual ID, not only would the background be cut out differently to match the example, in my opinion, but also he would be way more center because they have you stand at very specific places to get the right photo and the right angle and all of that to be in the middle and center. And you can also tell, in my opinion, like if you see it up close, where the cropping isn't straight, in my opinion. You'll also notice, even though the name is redacted, you can see how behind that redaction, it almost looks as if something has been blurred out, in my opinion. And when you compare the original example tribal ID to this, it almost looks like it's this information right here that is blurred out with some lines put on top of it, in my opinion, is how it looks to me. And you can really see that with this acorn as well, in my opinion, when you look at the way that the acorn represents in both of these images, in my opinion. And last but not least, you can, well, actually two more things. If you notice here, this ID does not have in the bottom right corner, it almost looks as if this was blurred over, but an additional image right here was not placed. But on the real ID, it would show another copy in black and white, in my opinion, of the photo ID, right? So that's not present on what is being passed off as Andrew Moreno's tribal card. And also you'll notice this address right here is the same as the example ID right here, but in my opinion, if this was his real ID, wouldn't it have, unless they do it differently there, wouldn't that have his actual address? Or am I mistaken for thinking that? I don't know. But so I don't believe that ID is a real North Fork Ranchera of Mono Indians ID. I believe that it is falsified for these reasons. What I do not know is who falsified it. Was it Andrew Moreno? Was it Mono who falsified it and is passing this off on his own? Or was it trolls making fun of him? Now, I'll show you that in a minute. So also, yesterday in a live stream, Isla, like I told you, was protesting. And when she was protesting, asked me to moderate her live because she was not going to be able to fully focus on the comments. She needed to focus on the protest. Every now and then she was able to read and engage with the comments, but for the most part, she was distracted with the protest. That wasn't her focus at that time. And so she asked me to moderate for her, and I already told her in advance that I wasn't going to block these people, but I would be muting them for my mental health. And so that was already, like, I already told her in advance that's what I would need to do, And so, yeah. So when KB came in the live streams for the protest, I muted her, and I said, I muted you, KB, for my mental health, based on all the reasons in this live stream, okay? And when I saw Fleurette come in, I also muted Fleurette. I said, I muted anyone associated with anyone gaslighting me on my sexual assault for my mental health, so KB and Fleurette. Okay? I muted them. Now, I also said, and I think they may have left after I muted them, so I don't know if they saw these comments in real time. But I also said, because my friend Silent said, do what you got to do for your own protection and health. I said, yeah, only because I actually have to mod for her since she needs to focus on protest this time. I said, in general, Isla can decide who she wants in her space, but only because this time I need to mod for her. So, if they go on other situations, Isla is actually able to communicate with them in the moment. They're not going to have to worry about me muting them because it's up to Isla to decide who she wants to communicate with in that time, right? But for this specific live stream, my only job was to moderate that space for her for then, and I was not going to be able to do that with those people triggering me for all of the reasons in my playlist, okay? So yes, I did fucking mute them, and I do not regret it. Now, back to this situation. I do not believe this email is real. Okay, so here's reason number one. Look at the sizing difference in the text here. This is completely two different font sizes, and it's highly unlikely somebody is going to sit there and change their font size unless they're copying and pasting some shit and it just came out that way, and they sent it anyway in an email. It's highly unlikely someone's going to sit there and try to change font sizes, right? Unless they wanted to emphasize something, but that threw me off. And then also, you can see part of the email address right here. It looks like the email says North Fork something else, right? But when you look into their website, when was the last time the North Fork Mono Tribe email address changed? There's no public information regarding the last time it changed, but it only provides the current email address. And that would be nfr-nsn.gov. It's, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so they can change their contact information at any given time, but I Googled, have they changed their information? I could not find any information to support, oh shit, I just realized I wasn't sharing. I couldn't find any information online to support that they were that they had recently changed their information or anything like that. And when you go to their website and you go to the contact page, where are you at? Right here, I believe it's the contact page. You can see on the contact page what their email addresses look like. Let me zoom in. Okay, I hit the wrong button. That's my bad. So, when you zoom in, you can see that their email addresses are different. NFR-NSN. The full North Fork Rancheria URL is not in their email addresses, and I could not find anything online to support that they had recently changed their email address. So when you look at this right here, the example email given, it says at North Fork with some other shit. So that makes me wonder if this email is fake. So this email has been going around. I cannot find any, I do not know who the original sender is to corroborate it, and I don't know, if it's real or not. This is just why I don't think it's real. So for those reasons, if people would be falsifying this, would people try and falsify a Mono tribal card to then act like Mono did it? Who knows? I don't know. You know what I mean? So I don't know if Mono was the one that put that out there. And this is just another screenshot of the contact list, but a mobile version to show that those email addresses do not match. So yeah, and then I already showed you guys the Fleurette conversation, and that's it from here. Okay, and then last but not least, who wants to read more messages from Mono to me? Yeah, let's do that. Great. So we already read this one, where we are confirming that this is Andy, also known as Mono, and he says Andy is his real name. Then he says, Lexie is such a pretty name. I really like you. Like, I always felt good vibes about you. Never felt any negative energy. And I said, thank you. My parents named me after Alexis from the 90s version of Dynasty. That's a fact. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I really need to, yeah. Okay, so this is me talking about Mono.
And I have the papers to prove it.
Yeah, that's the Alexis from the original Dynasty. Anyway, I said, I appreciate you very much because I feel a bit of whiplash with some people on TikTok, so it's very refreshing not to be on eggshells. And then I said, I've never seen anyone spell Andy that way, assuming that's pronounced like Andy. And he said, correct, Andy is common, but my parents named me Andy. It's more indigenous looking. Mono is a TikTok nickname because I am from the Mono tribe. Here is California. And then I said, it is for sure. I feel like my parents wanted to play Scrabble with mine and my siblings' name, going for the highest points, X, Y, V, Z. Lindsay, Victoria, Alexis are my immediate siblings' names, and my little sister, her name's Dara. But yes. So yeah, and then I started talking about my handle, Deaf Child. I can't find another company that claims to be a deaf-owned marketing agency that started before 2013. Every deaf-owned marketing agency I can find has started at 2017 or later. That's not to discredit deaf individual marketers though, because those bitches have been out there. I'm not trying to erase all the deaf marketers out there, like there's a bunch of deaf marketers that have been doing their thing long before I was ever born. But I'm just saying, I have found no record of a digital or online anywhere of a marketing agency that's deaf-owned that started before me. So I have made claims that I'm the first because I can't find anybody else that was before me. So yeah, and he was talking about weed and smudging. And he said, and when reply to me starting a deaf-owned agency, he said, wow, what an accomplishment. I'm so proud of you, Lexie. I said, I appreciate you. I barely got my shit together, but getting by. And then he said that I was smudging because the smoke is burning from a healing plant that has a connection to the divine or creator. And then I said, the more I learn about spirituality, the less I see organized religion as spiritual. He said, that's a great point. The weed is a whole entity of its own, and it's always you to open your mind and creativity and to be more self-aware. Allows. Good night. I love you. I'm still awake, by the way. LOL. So yeah, I said I just got my ass in bed. Good night. Hope you sleep well. I have much love for you, and thank you for reaching out throughout everything. It's about 2:40 a.m. here. I don't know what time it is there, but probably about to fall asleep on you. I do agree about weed. I think it helps my panic attacks and anger and overall manage emotions. And he was saying it's like midnight in California. I said I had worked remote out of New Orleans for a couple places in California, and it was great because I got to sleep in 2 extra hours. At that point, I think I just forgot he was in California. Because it's hard to remember sometimes when you're meeting like all these people from different places, where the fuck everybody's from. I fucking forget. So yeah, and I said I can feel my mind slipping away. I'm tired, but I'll be entertained. If I dream about your dream though, because that's from a different conversation. When we were talking about how people could have the same dreams. And his response to that though was dream about me. It was so cool. I was like, what? And he said, picture us in person with you leaning on me and me having you wrapped around my arm sitting in front of a campfire. And I said, I had no dreams last night. No dreams. Straight blackness. And then I woke up. But I really want some s'mores now. Have a good day. Okay? And then he said, I dream every night unless I drink alcohol. But I'm not much of a drinker. I'd rather smoke weed. I am at work about to get off in a bit. And I said, damn, when do you sleep? And I said, I've been sober from alcohol since September 9th, 2019. The last time I got drunk, I was riding a gas bike, no helmet, and crashed like 25 to 30, and I haven't gotten drunk since this. And I'm going to skip over one part of the conversation. I plan on skipping it. Okay, I have a little bit more to go, so I can show you guys. Because I don't want to show some of the other trauma issues in there. And I'm not talking about my own. I'm talking about his. I'm not going to put that out there. Because I don't give a fuck about putting my shit out there. Y'all know that. I've been putting my shit out there. So, I said, damn, when do you sleep? Oh, yeah, I just read that to you, bitches. Okay, so anyway, so I said, so yeah, I don't drink anymore. And now I wear a helmet. And I showed a picture of me with my scooter that got fucking stolen. Life is hard. And a helmet. And he said, oh wow, that is so wild, and thanks be to Creator that you didn't kill yourself. Geez, I'm happy you're still with us, sister. You're so pretty, by the way. I said, I appreciate you. Needless to say, I had a literal wake-up call, and for real, I think Creator and my ancestors had to be looking out for me that night, because I had crashed, then blacked out with my purse on the other side of the street. I don't know how long I was out for, but no one took anything of mine or harmed me. But yeah, once you've slammed your face into concrete at a certain speed, you kind of get a little reality knocked into you. He said, wow, Creator and our ancestors do favor you, and that is truly a blessing. And I said, yes. And then I talked about how I was reporting videos of a white girl trying to tell Carolina that she doesn't know about racism. And at the time, in regards to Carolina, you know, I really appreciated a lot of the content she had put out at that time, where she was discussing about Indigenous identity being multifaceted as it relates to cultural connection, community connection, lineage, your ancestry, and things of that nature. How it wasn't just one aspect, you know what I mean? And I had really appreciated that. And you have to be saying some really racist shit for me to go report your videos. I don't report just anybody's videos. You have to be doing like Hannah Clanister or Shanine Blake, or what was that bitch named Relly or something like that? You know, like, and I have a video on the Relly thing, so I'll try to link that later in the comments or description when I'm timestamping. But you know, you have to be doing really fucked up shit for me to be like, I'm gonna go report your videos. So yeah, when certain people are being really racist, I will go report them. I don't give a fuck. And so yeah, and then I was also talking about how I met you know, they call themselves the toxic gatekeepers still at the time of this text message. So even though they don't identify as that group now. I said I met them before anyone else in that in Native TikTok community that's not deaf, because I know a lot of deaf Natives somehow. Because in August, I wrote a Proud Mary derivative about the Alabama brawl called Bitches in the River, and then Mama Bird found me, and then it turns out Mama Bird's adopted niece was my cousin, and I kind of got roped into Native TikTok from there, you know? And so, yeah. And he's saying, it's such a cool story. They're my sisters. I'm glad you met them as Native sisters. Proud of you. Just got off going home. And I talked about how I spent too much time making bingo cards for TikTok to court. And I'll link that one too later. Fuck it. Okay. And said I was just about to eat, focused on self-care, things of that nature. I also said I got a follow request from Maui. I don't know how to say her name, but look, that's also the lady that goes by Nahimana. Now, Nahimana and I had a fallout related to a different situation related to the whole teaser thing, which I'm not even gonna fucking get into right now because that would really sidetrack this whole conversation. But that's what this is all in reference to. If you know, you know. And so I basically was saying I got a follow request from Nahimana, and I was unsure whether or not to accept it to see what she has to say or not, because I don't think you could message me if you're not my friend or something like that. And he was saying, no, please don't do it. She's trying to paint me in a bad light. And I said, okay, I haven't accepted it. And he said she's worse than teaser. I swear on my ancestors, don't do it, sister. She wants everyone to go against me. And at that time, I didn't know what had happened between them, you know. So I said, okay, I'm not going to do it because I feel like she showed me who she was the first time. He said, block her. She was talking shit about you. And she said, fuck her, I'm going to block her. And I said, well, I'm not going to block Sister Lexie. And I was like, okay. And he was saying that he was the only one, along with Lakota, who had my back. That rhetoric is what he tells Fleurette now with Don Chuy. He'll be like, Don Chuy doesn't have your back. I'm the only one that has your back. You know what I mean? In my opinion. Anyway, and he was saying, block her, love you, sister. She is Teaser's twin. So yeah. And I also told him I loved and appreciated him. But, you know, at the time I did have love for him in a friendly way. But, like, I was unaware of how problematic he was. Yeah. And I don't have love for that behavior. And Andy was saying that Nahimana was only trying to befriend me to try to get info on me because she's reaching at this point. I accidentally clicked. And then here again, he is saying, in regards to Nahimana, she is mad because I rejected her. She wanted a relationship. I rejected her, and she turned on me. It's misplaced trauma for sure. Where have we heard this before? Doesn't he say that a lot? Everybody's rejecting. He's rejecting everybody, and everybody's mad because he rejects them. That's what he always says, in my opinion. And so yeah, and he says she likes to report videos. She's 46 years old and is such immature for her age. And I said, you have to be doing Hannah Clanister type shit for me to want to report you. If you know, you know. And he says, same here, sister. I don't like reporting. Because, like, I really, like, particularly with TikTok, it's so easy to get accounts banned. I don't just go reporting people. I haven't reported Mono's videos. I haven't reported Abuela's videos. I'm not reporting Fleurette's Abuela videos. Because even though I can show through the evidence that I have how they're problematic and put that out there and leave it alone. I'm not here to silence people. Okay? When I report a video, it's because something that fucked up was said in the video. Yeah. And then he was telling me that someone said I had a twin. Is that true? And I said, yeah, it's on my TikTok. And he asked if she was also hard of hearing. And I said, no. And he said, wow, identical. I said, no, we're fraternal. And he said, such lovely girls. And he said, right on, but you still look so alike. I said, thank you. And from there, I did say that I don't talk to my sister anymore because of my sexual assault and the fallout. You know what I'm saying? And this author here is where he shared some trauma information about himself, which I will be skipping through. So I'm going to skip through that part. Because I'm only sharing what I have to share about Andrew Moreno to prove that I'm telling the truth. I'm not here to share all his fucking business. So I have the screenshots, but I am skipping through 3 or 4 screenshots right now because I'm not sharing what's his trauma. Okay? So fuck you, Abuela, fuck you, Mono, fuck you, Fleurette, and fuck you, KB, for acting like me sharing what I am sharing is me doing that. Fuck you guys. Anyway. So, so at this point, he had said that people accused him of being gay. And I said, plenty of straight people explore with consent, they're still straight. Because you know what, you can be curious about your sexuality and then determine that you're still straight. I do not think that just because you have explored it means you're necessarily bi or gay. You know what I'm saying? I think you can explore it and determine that you're still straight. Whatever. Anyway. And then, so yeah. I was also telling him, you know, I live in New Orleans, so everybody calls you baby, sweetheart, love, darling, honey. So for me, I don't take pet names in casual conversations as flirting or anything more than casual affection because it's a sign of friendship or welcoming into a space and nothing more. Where he was using these pet names with me and stuff, I wanted to just basically say, and then he was all like, you know, this isn't how I'm going to associate that because that's not how I'm going to see you, is basically where I was coming from. And I also said that how people take away that type of conversation can depend on their culture. So he had sent me a screenshot of a conversation. And so I said, based on the conversation you showed me, I do see how things can be twisted to mean that. If he was saying that he didn't see her that way, I was basically saying, well, I see why she thought that you did, you know. Whether or not it was twisted or not, I don't know. Anyway. But yeah. So, right here, he's also saying that Nahimana tried to get with her even though because she wanted him to bring her out to California, and he said here that he was 35 and she was 46. So November 2023, Andy Mono told me that he was 35. And I said, I would have replied, if you need the money, start a GoFundMe. Andy says that Nahimana asked her for $800 and he said no thank you. And I was talking about the last time I flew anywhere about 10 years ago, more like 13 to 15 now. And I said it was a $300 round trip from New Orleans and Portland and back, if I remember correctly. And he said that's actually a pretty good deal. His was $800 from California to Miami last year. I said, damn, prices really went up. And he said, yeah, they did, but wasn't round trip. And that was basically like all the conversation that I had screenshotted from this point. There is more, but I'm not going to get into it for no fucking reason. I felt like what was shown here, what it does is show you guys how he speaks to people in general, and things of that nature. So yeah. I'm now going to make sure that I reviewed everything I wanted to cover here. So let me try and give you guys a rough summary of everything that we covered today. Let's see here. We went over the live stream that Abuela and Fleurette did on me. And I think that was KB hosting, if I'm not mistaken. We also went over what questions I had about Fleurette's ancestry, how I questioned her privately, and I showed you guys, also that's mentioned in the Tawana live stream as well, and I also fucking showed you guys how I did try to get her connected and in community with the Eastern Woodland group, and how I did encourage her to try and get her lineage confirmed and do her genealogy. So we went over that. We went over the live stream that they did on me where they invalidated me, my indigeneity, and everything that I've been saying about all of this, you know. We did a reaction to that. I showed you guys the text messages where Mono was trying to fight NavajoRezRunner. I showed you guys where Isla was telling me that Mono was asking KB to ask me to take down my videos, and I said hell no. I showed you guys what is going around as Andrew Moreno, where people are showing that there is a different Andrew Moreno who is actually wanted for pedophilia. And so we did discuss that because I just figured, like, if this is gonna potentially show up for the concept of him anyway and everything like that, like, might as well put that word out there in case it does help. If anybody can see that and report on it, that could be a good thing. What we also went over is how I believe people were falsifying the email with the tribal chairman that was denying Andrew Moreno as Mono. I do believe that email is false, and we went over why. We also went over the tribal card. I definitely believe the tribal card produced is fake, where it looks as if that's Andrew Moreno's Mono tribal card. I believe that is fake. However, I do not know who falsified it. That I cannot tell you. Was that Andrew Moreno himself who falsified it, or somebody else? Because if other people would falsify that email, would they falsify a tribal card to make him look bad too? I don't know. All I can say is I did check using urlebird.com. I checked to see if he had ever posted that tribal card, and I could find no record or evidence of that. And speaking of that, I also showed you guys some of his recent posts that, not recent, I guess they're recent context, I don't know. Some of his posts that alarmed me as it related to cyber cheese. And I also showed you the image sexualizing Native women that he had posted while degrading me on my sexual assault so yeah, I showed you guys that. I also went and showed you where he was asking Isla for a truce. I also showed you guys where I blocked I muted KB. I did block them on my own shit, but in Isla's live stream as her moderator, I did mute KB and Fleurette. Nobody else came in there, or I would have muted them too. Or if they did, it was on a backup burner and I didn't know it was them. So I showed you guys I muted them and why. I also showed proof that I'm the one who invited Fleurette into the Eastern Algonquian group, and she accepted that invitation. I also showed you proof of where I had questioned her lineage. Am I repeating that? I think I already said that. And then we went over more messages between Andrew Moreno, Mono, and I. We did a recap of all of the coverage that I have done on them so far. And I said that I did a reaction to the live stream already. If I'm not mistaken, I think that is everything I covered so far, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see here. And I just want to show you guys, this was the post that I had made on I'm going to show you guys next and just play it. The post that I had made on the last post I made on TikTok about this situation. Yeah, let me just play that. It's the same fucking song I played at the beginning of this stream, but fuck it, we're gonna repeat it. You say you're native, staying active, playing community. Gonna be a big man someday. MMIW, not your place. Throwing rape in our face. Natives don't need any more of your disgrace. Singing, we don't rock with you. We don't rock with you. Mono, Andrew Moreno. So yeah, I posted that on TikTok. So now at this point in my live streams, I have shown you all of the posts that I've made on this situation. I am scrolling through here to see if there is anything else that I need to cover. I do believe that I have now covered everything. What I'm gonna do real quick before I end the live stream, I'm gonna set it to my break buffer, and because at the beginning of this stream I was muted for part of it and I couldn't tell how long I was muted for. So I'm gonna go check real quick before I end the stream what was I muted for, and do I need to recover anything I thought I wasn't muted for real quick. I'm gonna go see if I can figure that out. And so, yeah, I'm going to be right back. And then after that, I will end this bitch with a little more of a conclusion. So give me 2 shakes of a lamb's tail, and I appreciate it. Okay, back already. I was going to go check and see if I was muted for the beginning of this live stream. However, the live stream has not fully processed. And when I try and go back to see that beginning, it is showing to me as if it's showing to me like only like an hour and a half or so back. And the live stream, though, is about 2 or 3 hours long, I think. I don't know. How long have I fucking been here, man? But the live stream is it's like 2.5 hours long right now at this point, a little over than that. So I'm not currently able to see the first hour of this live stream. I won't be able to see it until it processes, apparently. So I don't know for sure what I was muted for at the beginning. I just remembered that I had accidentally muted myself when I was reviewing with you guys the Fleurette situation. Fleurette too, but the Abuela situation. Abuela was trying to basically claim to me that she never invalidated my indigeneity, even though I have proof of it. And then whenever I told her how much it upset me and hurt me, that she was still backing Andrew Moreno Mono because of how he was supporting my rapist and dismissing me on my rape, how I was extremely hurt by this. She literally said word for word, I knew you would flip out. And so fucking, yeah. And then in that live stream, she was judging me for being upset about this. And she was judging me for calling out Andrew for engaging in relations with teenagers after the things he said to me, especially. So yeah, fucking if after I add the timestamps, if I was muted more than I thought I was or something like that, then perhaps in my next live stream or something, I will clarify what I was trying to communicate when I was muted and unaware, you know? But besides all of that, unless something else happens related to this, I do want to go on to my other shit. And I have a lot of other things that I wanted to cover instead, and I want to, keep talking about other things and do other things. So besides addressing the muted issue if needed, and unless something else happens, this will be my coverage. This is it. Okay? I also do plan on uploading the little song that I did as well. So, but I'm talking about in terms of the live streams, I am going to put that I haven't uploaded that onto YouTube, but I will be putting that on YouTube. And yeah, fucking, that song, it's much harder to sing and do this at the same time. And, yeah, like when I practice it, half the time I get it right, half the time I fuck it up, you know what I'm saying? But just to kind of process everything here, I am extremely disappointed in KB, in Fleurette, and Goth Abuela, also known as Echo Park Lady. I'm extremely fucking disappointed in them. As much as I'm disappointed in Andrew Moreno, also known as Mono, I am equally as disappointed in those ladies for co-signing this behavior, enabling this behavior, and supporting this behavior, and then doubling down on it and gaslighting me on it, and accusing me of lying, and then telling me I'm offensive for showing evidence. Yeah, fuck you bitches. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, before I close out, I think I am going to give it one more roll. Roll? I cannot say that word right. It sounds like I'm saying roll when I try to say it. I'm trying to say roll. W-H-I-R-L, but I can't fucking speak. Anyway, so I'm gonna try fucking doing that little thing one more time, see if I can get it right. Probably won't, but you know what? At least I'm expressing myself. I think a song is a healthy way to express yourself. So I'm gonna do that, and then we're gonna close this bitch up, and I will timestamp the fuck out of this live stream as soon as I can. So, here we go. You say you're native, staying active, playing community, gonna be a big man someday. MMIW, not your place, throwing rain in our face. Natives don't need any more of your disgrace. Singing, we don't rock with you. We don't rock with you. Yeah, I fucked that up. I wonder if I can do it. I can't do it. I can't get the beat right. Okay. I don't know. I'm gonna try one more time. E for effort, right? Yeah, E for effort. Let's try it again. Let's see if I get that right. There you guys. You know what? Let's start you lower. There you go. That you have room to go up. Okay. You say you're native, staying active, playing community, gonna be a big man, MMIW, not your place. Nah, I fucked it up. I tried. E for effort, that sucks. You get the point. Fuck it. If I can get that right, then I might film that and upload it. I don't know. Anyway, you get the fucking point. Blah, blah, blah. I can't get that right. You know what? That's negative. Now I want to try again. Sorry, I'm self-absorbed and vapid. Did I mention how good your hair looks? I just want to be able to get the beat and the singing right. Why is that so hard? Why does it look easy, but doing it is hard? Can you do it? Have you tried doing it? Are you able to do this and it's just me? I don't know. I mean, if you're a musician, that doesn't count. Don't look at me like that. Close your good eye. Okay, fuck it. We're going to try one more time. All right. Last time, I swear to God. You say you're native, staying active, playing community, gonna be a big man someday. MMIW, not your place, throwing rape in our face. Natives don't need any more of your disgrace. Singing, we will rock you. Shit, I fucked that up. Well, I said that was the last time. Anyway, E for effort. Y'all get the fucking point. I don't fucking rock with you, Andrew Moreno. Alright? I don't fucking rock with you. I can't even sing my own fucking derivative right. But whatever. Well, technically I can sing it right. I just can't do the singing and the rhythm right. I guess it requires more practice than I thought. I just came up with this shit today. Anyway, y'all get the fucking point. I'm actually ending this bitch now. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you. Unless you are Andrew Moreno, then you can suck my fucking dick. Okie dokie. Bye, y'all. Thanks for watching. Join the loyalty program at noladeafchild.com/loyalty and check in during live streams to get points for rewards.